What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to SpawnCast episode. What was that, Evan? 115?
115, yep.
115. All right, very cool, very cool. It's the first SpawnCast actually after E3 2019 wrapped. And, you know, it was an okay E3, I guess, if you really step back and look at it. I see a lot of people disappointed, but we're going to be talking about E3 a lot. That's basically what most of this is going to be about, this podcast, because there was obviously a lot of stuff to go through. And we're going to try to get through it in the 2 hours. But let me go around here. Sean is going to probably jump in midway through or at some point. So if you see him pop up, don't be surprised. But looking down here from right to left, OJ is with us tonight. How's it going, OJ?
It's going good. E3, once again, okay. There was some good stuff. There was some not so good stuff, like Ubisoft, for example. But overall, there was some cool stuff. But I think, obviously, next year is when developers like next gen, that's really they're kind of saving stuff. So
it's gonna be fun next year. It's gonna be fun next year. I think a lot of people will go again next year, so it'll be interesting. Let's see, we got Nate. Nate, what's going on?
Nothing much.
Good. Jordan is with us. What's going on, Jordan?
Yo.
We pointed out the shower curtain already.
Yeah, there's a Batman shower curtain. Don't ask too many questions.
Yeah.
It's your new closet, right? You got
That's my new closet, guys. I installed a closet. It's just hidden behind this Batman shower curtain.
Then Evan's with us tonight. What's going on, Evan?
Yeah, not much. Keep him busy. Just going through the stuff for too many games.
Ooh. Yes, you'll be there selling shirts and pins, right?
Shirts, pins, stickers. We got stuff.
Cool. Very cool. It's gonna be fun. Then Max got home in time to be on the podcast on time. What's going on, Max?
I'm a little sunburned. So two things. Holy heck, I am 200 subscribers from 150,000. So if you feel like subscribing, Dreamcast guy, I'm so excited about 150. Seems so giant to me. And also, I've been playing Bloodstained. We'll talk about that in a bit.
How did you get that early?
Somebody actually mailed it to me. Somebody who owns a store somewhere up north said, I'm supposed to put this on store shelves for 40. I'll mail it to you now if you pay me. And I was like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, nice. I'm going to hit up your DMs then.
Okay.
And then this person's about to be providing copies all over the place out here, apparently.
Right, exactly.
Because I would say that's out on Tuesday, right?
Yeah. And I think I've nearly beaten it. Wow. It's I'll talk about it in a second when we get to what we've been playing. Section.
Are you technically under embargo or no?
Well, no, because I just got it, and something I talked to some of the reviewers. It sounds like they're not giving out review copies till June 18th.
Weird.
I mean, I guess it's kind of like a nod of the head embargo, where if you go ahead and just release information about it, they just won't send you anything ever again. So, like,
that's true. That's true. Yeah. I mean, who's doing that again?
It's 505 is actually the people handling the codes, and I think Deep Silver is publishing.
Yeah, well, Deep Silver's messing up all over the place here, all right?
Yeah.
And then Austin John Plays. What's going on, Austin?
Hey, guys.
Good to have you on. You were really excited about Pokemon, so.
And Breath of the Wild 2.
And Breath of the Wild 2, yes.
And Link's Awakening.
And Link's Awakening. And Cadence
of Hyrule.
I just got to say real quick, Austin, your background is just, every time I see it, like video to video, and now it's so colorful, looks great. You did a great job setting that up, man.
Thank you. Last time I was on here, it was when I was moving out of the old house, and now the new one is all here and set up, and I got all the fun colors going on. Oh, that's notifications of subscribers. And yeah, I like watching it on the replay, and I just messed around with the colors more. I wanted more RGB, more pop of color and stuff coming out. So I'm really happy with the way it's coming out. Thank you.
Very nice. Yeah. Very nice. This new room then? New room and everything?
New house.
Yeah. Oh, very nice.
I could invite you to the housewarming party if you want to drive up to Jersey.
All right. Jersey.
Probably not. Yeah.
What's all that about? Because it's New Jersey, or because it's a far trip for a party?
Both.
Yeah. Let's go for it.
I have two guest rooms and an editing room. You could sleep in one of those.
Okay.
It's not like John. It's not like John has like a family or anything, you know.
Yeah.
He's got to be with her or anything. Like a newborn, you know.
Jersey's interesting. Been through Jersey a couple times, and interesting place. We'll say that.
You say that like it's Florida. Stop.
It's not Florida. I've been to Florida. It's not Florida.
Florida's great, by the way.
It depends where you go.
Monday, I'm going down the shore. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I mean, it's going to be the right Super Nintendo Land?
What?
The theme park. Aren't they having a theme park down in Florida for the Nintendo one?
They are, but they're gonna make sure that they do like evaluations before you go into there. They gotta check.
Yeah,
your
they gotta check you out
before you go into there, because I ain't trying to have any weirdos come over here, because you know they're gonna try to get in. You know they are.
They're gonna be like, "Have you ever smoked meth? Oh, you haven't? Welcome to Nintendo Land."
Man. So what's everyone been playing this week? We'll go through that, and then we'll get into the E3 stuff, and we'll go conference by conference.
Mm-hmm.
What's everyone been playing though? Max, you've been playing Bloodstained.
Yes, so I've been playing Bloodstained and Judgment, and I'm allowed to talk about both. But so first of all, Judgment, fantastic. Like just as a single word, fantastic. But let's talk about Bloodstained because there's not a lot of information on it. Holy heck, it's good. The combat is good. It is a little weird in the technical aspect. A lot of cutscenes are literal drawings on paper. Which is strange. They'll basically be like, they unleash the horde of demons, and it's literally a drawing of like some wicked things. There is some freezes where the game will stop. You'll like attack a demon or like a boss will use a spell, and the game will freeze for a half second and then unfreeze. But all the physics other than that's going on. So your clothes will like fall down, your spell effects will still be lighting up the room. It seems like they probably wanted to do another month or two of bug testing, and they just had to throw it out.
You think that's something that might get patched?
Well, so I'm playing with the day one patch, and they claim that the reason that there won't be reviews is that they're finishing the day one patch. I definitely installed it.
So are you talking like a freeze frame, like Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild? Sometimes, like if there's like a bunch of like lightning going on, sometimes it'll just like freeze completely and then unfreeze. Are you talking about like something like that?
I would call in Breath of the Wild, I would call those stutters more, because those start and stop so close to each other. It feels more like the game is like trying to catch up and load everything.
Yeah, that sounds like an animation freeze.
This feels like an animation freeze, and it's not a tremendous problem. Combat is good. You have to grind, which I wasn't expecting because I haven't had to do that a lot since like Circle of the Moon, like the older Game Boy ones. A lot of times when I get to a boss, what I do is I would zigzag back and forth to the couches, which are like the save points a couple times, just to get extra experience.
Does it feel like Symphony of the Night?
In a lot of ways, yes. You have the back step. The back step is nice. The combat is nice. The weirdest thing is I like the way that Symphony of the Night kind of drip feeded out upgrades, where you're getting like a new cool upgrade every like 20 minutes, a new ability. You get abilities like crazy. They're called shards, and when you kill a demon, you'll randomly get a shard. So like I just got an ability where I can like swing a demon head on a chain, and it does a lot of damage. So I just randomly got that because I killed the dude, and then I died, and it put me back pretty far because it doesn't have a checkpoint system. And then when I fought that guy again, it didn't give me that chain upgrade.
Okay.
But it's cool. I actually like that it's punishing. Someone said anime or CGI then, or just drawings. Yeah, so it's just literal drawings on paper is how some of the cutscenes look.
Okay, so it doesn't feel like they cut corners, I guess, on the cutscenes then?
I think so. I'm going to do a huge video on this Monday, but my main thing is they just cared about gameplay. They just wanted to make the combat fun. They wanted to make every one of the crazy enemies really different. There is no copy-paste content. This is a very, very different style of game. But you can tell that when it came to cutscenes and stuff, they're like, does anybody really care?
Yeah, because I know that like a lot of people were like really like bagging on the graphics, you know, and I know that was one of their big things that they wanted to get fixed. Because I was an original backer. I was like one of the first like 100 to back the game, like full $60 back then. And this game was not supposed to be anywhere near the scale that you're playing right now. Like they were just like, oh, let's just make a nice little Symphony of the Night clone. And then people started getting the anticipation for it, and the hype and the money they started getting was way more. They wanted like $500,000. They got like 4 million, and then they're like, oh no, like people are going to expect way more than. So then that's why it got delayed so much, and that's why they got the publisher to kind of help in. So what we're playing is something that's like, and that's why I think maybe where they cut some corners a little bit. They're just like, man, we can't do everything. This game's never going to come out, you know.
The art is good. I like the graphics a lot. The voice acting, I think the facial animations are super. They're like sock puppets, but the voice acting is great. Like everybody. Like we play as like a, what do they call her? A shard bearer. You're basically like a half demon human, which is why you can absorb demon abilities. And when she talks about her past and the surgeries and stuff, it's really good.
I think like Snake's in the game, like David Hayter. He's like one of the voice actors in the game.
And they do his voice really. I mean, he talks like Snake of like, all right, we got to stop the darkness. Like, okay, Snake.
Nice.
Oh, cool. What about Judgment? Can I play Judgment without playing any Yakuza games? Am I good?
you see a couple of the Yakuza families, and that's it. Play it in English. I like the voice acting in English a lot.
Okay.
Why would you not play it in English?
Well, because all the previous games were only in Japanese. They put subtitles on, and that was a design choice. This is the first game they've done in like 14 or 15 years that actually has an English option, and the English voice actors are fantastic.
Also, I'm pretty sure everything that you said about that, the opinion so far, you could actually apply all that to Kirby 64 and the Crystal Shards. I think it'd be really funny if we took like a sound clip of that in like Kirby 64 gameplay.
Yeah, it just made it look like a review.
Yeah. someone do that, especially the guy who does all the weird videos.
Ted Sumo.
So I played Cadence of Hyrule.
Yes.
And I was curious if did anyone else play Cadence of Hyrule? I know Austin did. Austin played a lot of it.
I played it too.
Okay. See, Sean played it, and I wanted to get his take on it because he liked the game, but he also didn't like the game. So he had an interesting take when I was talking to him about it. To see. But Austin, how many times have you played through it?
My left thumb hurts so much.
Isn't that weird? I was noticing that with the because it wants you to use the buttons on the Joy-Con or the D-pad. That's actually a game where the buttons actually work well for it.
I was thinking about, because I use the Pro Controller for everything. I hate my Joy-Cons, but I was thinking about going to the Joy-Cons for this.
Why do you hate the Joy-Cons, by the way?
Because the Pro Controller is one of the best controllers I've ever held in my life.
So what you're saying is every Switch owner should buy a Pro Controller.
This would be a better conversation if Sean was here.
Yeah, every Switch owner should own a Pro Controller.
Well, no. Nate doesn't have a Pro Controller either.
I am fine with the dog. I am happy with the dog face controller.
You've been using the dog face controller for over 2 years now, Austin.
What's the dog face controller?
Where you have the two Joy-Con controllers and the grip.
Oh, the Joy-Con grip?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just looks he looks sad right now, Nate, looking over that right now.
Hearing some small violin music
I was
in my
gonna
head.
say, oh man. See, that's everyone we have on here, Nate. You see this? Pro Controller.
Hey,
Way to go.
Sean and I know the truth.
I need Sean to get on here because he bought that Power Rangers Collector's Edition rather than a Pro Controller, and he spent $90 on that thing.
You mean Crayola crayons the game?
And the Pro Controller was down actually on sale for $50.
That's not cheap enough.
What the?
How is it not? Wait a minute. How is it not cheap enough?
How much
I
is
am
it gonna get here?
$50 plus like $5 to ship it. All of a sudden, it's up to $55. Nah.
It's a good controller.
I thought it was 50 on Amazon, which meant no shipping if you have.
I love that. It's a $5 shipping. Soon it's like $55. Like it's just $5.
Then I gotta
more.
include the taxes. I mean, all of a sudden, I'm only saving myself like $10. Nah, I'll wait until it's on sale for like 40.
Well,
I am excited for the new Hori split Joy-Con thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna check that out. We actually have a question about that.
Yeah, I pre-ordered that, and I also hit them up because I want to review it.
Yes. That'd be good. But yeah, Cadence of Hyrule was different than I thought it would be at first. I mean, we saw gameplay, but that was a game once you start playing it, it's hard in the beginning.
It's super, like your first like 3 hours, you're gonna die more than a dozen times.
Yeah, you really have to get
Every
used to that because you have to figure out, okay, I have to stay on rhythm, and then I have to watch the enemies and kind of let them get themselves into trouble while I hit them with a spear.
Yeah.
Over and over.
Once you learn the enemy movements, you get the loot, you get the spin attack, and then you unlock some fairies for your power-ups, then you're fine. Then you can just blow through the game.
You know, I liked it that the music is really good.
Oh, they're bangers. All of them are bangers. I downloaded a game rip of all the music like an hour ago. All of it is fantastic.
Yeah, they need to like limited run games needs to get on this, and they need to get the game physically, and then they have to put it on like a CD or something, like put the soundtrack out physically, because it is really good.
I was watching your stream, Austin John, while you were playing it, and holy crap, are you good at it? And it was really funny. At one point, someone was like, "Turn the music down," and you were like, "No, this music's great. I'm not doing that. I need to hear it." And I was like, "Man, has a point."
Did you get your time down, Austin, from 16 hours?
That's because I kept my Switch on. Apparently, if you put the game into sleep mode, it'll log that time, which is super weird.
Sean turned it in a time of like 25 hours or something.
I got down to just over 2 hours, which day one leaderboards I would have been number 3, but now a whole bunch of people from Korea and China and Japan are down to like a half hour.
This game apparently, like, what a Crypt the Necrodancer is actually really popular, like overseas.
Mm-hmm.
Like they heavily speedrun that thing. I had never heard of this game until Cadence of Hyrule. I'm gonna be honest.
I heard about it, but I didn't know anything about the game.
I hadn't heard. Evan, you said you had it on your Steam wish list forever.
Yeah, I kept looking at it because people kept telling me, and it kept popping up in my suggested, because it's sort of like a pseudo adventure game but rhythm, and I'd watch it, but it's never really appealed to me 100%.
It's like if you go on the Switch, it's like $3 right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like 80% off for Crypt of the Necrodancer if you wanted to try it.
Yeah, I think it's like $5.
Is it okay? I just know they marked it down like 80%, and people were like, "It's like a couple bucks right now if you want to go check it out." I think it's till like the 18th or something. But I might actually. I was gonna go grab that, to be honest, either tonight or tomorrow, just to check that out because I like Cadence Hyrule. Although I really like Cadence Hyrule because it's like kind of the open world like Zelda, and then it also has the awesome music. So maybe that's kind of like skewing it in that favor. I don't know.
It's kind of like you're playing Zelda 1 on the NES, but it's a randomizer and the music is dope and you can only move on beat.
Yes. Yeah. Apparently you can turn that off though. You can actually make it so it's like a turn-based game then.
That's easy mode. That's garbage. Don't do that.
Is that easy mode? I wasn't sure. I haven't tried it yet.
There's an easy mode in there because I was getting my butt kicked, and they're like, "You want to turn the easy?" I was like, "No, I just don't. I'm just not gonna like this game.
I'll take the pain."
It takes the rhythm out of it, and you basically whenever you move, I guess the enemies move then.
Yeah.
No,
the idea.
You just move freely. Everyone still moves on beat other than you.
Oh my gosh, that makes it real easy then.
It's just not fun.
You can just move around. You can just move around.
Oh, I didn't know that. Wow. Does that not count towards the leaderboard then?
There's a different leaderboard.
It's called the Scrub Leaderboard.
Scrub leaderboard.
Okay.
You know
As
what?
soon as you turn the mode on, it's like, hey, just to let you know, you're going to be put on the shitty leaderboard and everyone's going to know it.
Everyone's going to know it. They're going to shame you.
We're going to take over your Twitter account and post it.
Oh, man.
You can't go on that board. That's not a good thing to go.
No.
But I did Cadence Hyrule. Nate, did you play Cadence Hyrule?
No.
Okay, got it. Then I did play Secret of Mana Collection as well.
Mm-hmm. So did I.
And I like it. I do, but it's a really cool thing. The whole point is seeing what is essentially, I guess, Secret of Mana 2 or Second Citizen 3 finally get localized outside of Japan. That was the whole point of it, was for that. But it controls well. I mean, it's good emulation. Everything, it works fine. I mean, there's Super Nintendo games and a Game Boy game, so it's like, of course, it's going to run fine. But other than that, those are the big ones I played. And then I did also play Forza Horizon 4 Legos.
That looked so awesome.
How was it?
So
It
awesome.
is actually really, really fun. I was playing it, Max, when we were doing the podcast because I kept talking about it.
Yeah.
Everything was made out of Legos. It's great. The trees are Legos. There are like little planes that are Legos. The first part thing you do is go for this big jump and a plane comes flying by. And
There's only one song playing the whole time?
No, they have
Everything
different
is
things.
awesome.
They have different things playing. You have like a radio. You have a radio. You can change the stations and stuff.
I've heard a lot of people telling me it's really good. Isn't it like $18 or something like that?
It's $18, yeah. But if you have Game Pass, you already got the game, so technically it was like $18 for the expansion on it.
I hear Game Pass is like $1 or something.
Yeah, it's like $1 for just $1.
I switched up for just $1. You can get Ultimate this month.
That's what I did. I
switched up
Ultimate,
instantly.
I have Ultimate for 12 months apparently now for $1 a month or something crazy.
Well, there you go. I'm excited to play. I might have to pick up the Lego one because it looks great. But I loved for Horizon 3 with the Hot Wheels.
Yeah, that was the best part. Like
that was so cool.
That's what I really like about Horizon is they don't take it seriously, so they just do some of the wackiest stuff ever. You know, we're talking about like Hot Wheels and now Legos, and the whole thing is you go around, you collect bricks, and then you're building up like your house and like your little mansion and stuff as you go.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so there's actually some pretty cool elements to it, and I like it. It's fun.
I'll have to check that out then for sure.
Let me know if this is right. I believe Forza is acclaimed for being how realistically accurate the driving experience is.
The main series.
Horizon's like Burnout kind of compared to like Gran Turismo.
Okay.
Think about kind of like that. Like Horizon, you're driving through fields and all kinds of stuff, and it's fun. It's a good time. I like Horizon way more than the regular series. I feel like the regular series is like the same thing over and over again.
Motorsports started great. I mean, I played it back in the day, and I think when it started out, it was the only like hyper realistic simulation racer out there at the time that had so many different licensed cars. But now we're at a point where it's like, okay, simulation's easy, make it fun.
Yeah, the original Xbox had the really cool version of Forza. When that first came out, that was awesome. That's because you could actually share the designs online back then on the 360. I remember that too.
Yeah, a lot of
really
cool. It was great.
But yeah, the Lego expansion is really, really cool. I was having fun with it. That was actually one of my favorite announcements from the Microsoft stuff because it was something I could play right away and it wasn't as technically.
Hey, they had to come out with an excuse to bring out a car on stage.
But they
made out of Legos.
But they trolled everyone because it was like shadowed, and then they turned the lights on, and it was made out of Legos.
I know, that's great. I'm just they still got that excuse to bring something on stage.
You still have to have a car on stage, though.
Yeah, that's a mandatory checklist for your E3 bingo.
While we're talking about things that we're playing, I also reinstalled my Bethesda launcher.
I'm sorry.
For what?
For Fallout 76 now solo player missions.
Wait, they were doing like Battle Royale too, right?
Yeah, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about they added NPCs and a single player quest line into the game to make it more like Fallout 4. I haven't played it yet. I just reinstalled the launcher.
It's not in yet, John. It's gonna be a while. Or Austin, sorry. Yeah, it's they're adding that in like 3 months.
Oh shoot!
Yeah, right now all there is the Battle Royale. But
yeah, you can uninstall for a while.
Great, I'm gonna uninstall. Oh, they shipped my canvas bag. It'll be here next week.
I heard that. It's funny enough. The Battle Royale isn't terrible. It's actually pretty sharp.
I can't, dude. That game is not the mechanics for any type of Battle Royale.
So they released a bunch of patches over the last 3 weeks that completely changed the shooting. So it's really fast now. It works. I would say. Play it for free. Right now, Fallout 76 is for free. I still wouldn't pay for it, but as somebody who already got suckered, I'm glad that mode's there. Good.
I got suckered. I got the collector's edition back when the game came out.
How did you guys get suckered? You knew the game was bad before it launched.
No,
we knew it was bad at
E3 announcement. That's when we ordered our Power Armor edition.
Yeah, that's when we
Thank you very much, OJ.
Yeah, and I didn't pay the full 200. I pre-ordered it. I had a Best Buy glitch where I pre-ordered it for 150 instead of 200.
$300 bags.
Because I wanted the helmet. I have every other Fallout collector's edition, so I needed it.
You get suckered into Jump Force too?
I had 2,000.
I did 100%. They got me in there with all the characters I love, and I bought. Can you let me speak? All right. I will come down. I will fly across the country. And, all right. Listen. I got it, and I still haven't played Fallout 76 at all. I have it. It's still packaged up. Have not put it in my PS4.
This is the same guy who bought
suckered the most. Max got suckered the most with that drink right there.
I know. Yeah, exactly. The true collectors had to drink this piss out of a jar. All right.
I bought that. I bought the Nuka Dark. First of all, it's not that bad of a rum. It really isn't.
It tastes like suntan lotion.
It's like Sailor Jerry's mixed with Coca-Cola syrup.
That was the banana. The banana aftertaste killed me, man.
What were you saying, Nate?
The pouring experience sucks,
Jordan got the Rage 2 collector's edition. That should be enough proof that he just
listen. I have
4,000 Blu-rays and he buys all of these special editions. He has a problem. We're aware of this.
I also got another collector's edition I pre-ordered when we talk about a certain game. Final
Fantasy 7. You got the motorcycle with the watch.
Shut up! Don't ruin the surprise.
Wait, you ordered the motorcycle?
I did the like $500 one.
The $330 limited edition Final Fantasy 7 with the motorcycle.
Yes, because I couldn't get the Cyberpunk 2077 motorcycle statue, so I said, you know what? I'll settle with Final Fantasy.
At least that's a good game.
Yeah, for once, right? I'm gonna collect this for a good game.
We think it is.
Correction.
Rage 2 is fine.
It's the first part of a good game.
Right.
Yeah. It's the first part of a good game. But
that
motorcycle looks sick. I want it.
It looks a bit better than Jump Force, so I mean I can see why.
It looks a lot better than Jump Force.
Oh, okay, yes, it looks a lot better than Jump Force.
Yes. All right.
Yeah,
I got
Jump Force never actually looked good.
All right, so now since I'm getting roasted, I'm gonna talk about what I've been playing. All right, changing the subject. All right. I've been playing a lot of Borderlands 2 because last week I said that they were going to drop a new DLC for Borderlands 2, and lo and behold, they did, and it was the exact title that I brought up, Commander Lilith and the Fall of Satan, whatever I said last week. Whatever I played it. It's free. And now Borderlands 2 is on Game Pass and it's on PlayStation Plus this month. So it's if you have either of those on either console, you can get the game as well. I've been playing through a lot more Borderlands 2, just having fun with it. The DLC itself was a large little piece of DLC. Like it wasn't as big as their previous DLCs, but it's a lot bigger than their Headhunter packs, which you can beat in like an hour. This took about like 3 or 4 around there if you're just doing everything. good little bit of area, good story. It explains a lot of stuff that's going to happen between 2 and 3. So yeah, it was really, really cool. And that's basically all I played this week is Borderlands stuff. So
fair enough. What about you, Evan?
Mostly just Roller Champions since they had that beta going.
Oh, yeah.
Splatfest today.
Oh, okay, cool. Why don't you tell us about the Roller Champions when we get to Ubisoft's events? You can tell us all about that.
Yeah, I can bring it up then.
And then, what about Nate?
I played some Gears 5 this week. I'm pretty sure it's under embargo, so I can't really talk about it. And I think I played a weird indie game. I need to remember the name.
Part of their beta, or what is it for Gears 5?
It's kind of like a beta, but it was extremely limited to the amount of people who could play. Like we could only play it for like 2 hours.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And I played a weird indie game called The Saviours Gang, where you lead people to salvation, and if you die, Jesus Christ makes fun of you.
Oh,
wow.
Sounds like an eShop game. All right.
Yeah.
He's a tough cookie.
It's something. Jesus wasn't happy when some of these people died.
well,
How do you find these games, Nate?
I find the publishers who just contact me saying, "Hey, you want to find salvation?" I'm like, "Okay."
You're allowed to say no. I mean, you can be like,
yeah, but you never know what game is going to get it's going to go viral for some reason because it's either so bad it's good. So you're better off, covering it.
Do you think this is going to be one of those games? Because it doesn't sound like one.
No, it's not. It's not going to lead anyone.
You're going to have to get on camera for that, Nate.
If anything, people are going to go to hell for like playing the game.
Sacrilege, yeah.
OJ, what about you, man? What have you been up to?
I finally got Spider-Man, Spooderman, Marvel Spooderman.
You got Spider-Man?
Finally.
Oh, nice.
I played it for an hour last night or something.
Yeah.
Was it on
I played
sale?
it on my PS4 Pro. It was $20.
That's good.
So I waited 8 months to get. I particularly said I'm gonna get it when it's 20, and it was $20. Bought it, played it for a bit, for about an hour or so. Got beat up by a fat dude, Kingpin.
Yep.
Yep, the first thing in the game. Yep.
Oh, it is only $20.
Yeah, it's $20. Days Gone, God of War, and also Spider-Man are all $20 for like limited time. So like I think it's gonna be in
Where?
Yeah, I grabbed Days
Amazon.
Gone. Yeah, I grabbed Days Gone.
You can get like Amazon, pretty much any place. I mean,
I
we'll
didn't see
price
it
match.
for $20 on Amazon.
Yeah,
I got it for
ordering
Amazon.
right now for $20 on Amazon.
Days
that?
Gone?
No, Spider-Man.
Days
Spider-Man.
Gone. I got Days Gone at Walmart because it was a pricing error. It was supposed to be 40 and they had it at 20. So I
Yeah,
ended up
Days
picking
Gone
it up.
says
It was
40.
small. Yeah, it was supposed to be 40, but Walmart accidentally priced it at 20. So I grabbed that real quick.
They're
Boom,
doing a
you're looking
promotion.
at the newest owner of Spider-Man.
There you go. So yeah, I picked it up. It's great on PS4 Pro. It looks amazing. The controls are good. I'm enjoying it so far. Definitely makes you feel like, Spider-Man. I like the whole leveling system in there and like what you can do, like the combos and the upgrade system. It's great. And for $20, it's even better. So yeah,
Spider-Man. It reminded me of Spider-Man 2 a lot.
Yeah, like the open world, how you're like swinging through. It was a lot of fun. I like the combat, but it seems like it's very heavily like Batman Arkham. Like
yeah, the combat.
exactly like Batman Arkham, but Spider-Man.
It feels like a dumbed down version of it. When I reviewed it, my only problem is the game is very easy. Like even on normal difficulty, like people it's the way Batman got at times where I'm freaking Batman. Nobody can mess with me. I'm a ninja.
Especially when you start upgrading everything, you do get pretty strong.
It's just the Batman. It's the exact same thing as Batman, except faster. Because you're more agile and you're flipping over and you're running from side to side, hitting people. Or Batman, you're usually just kind of stationary, and then every once in a while you glide to the other side.
Well, you can flip over people's heads on Batman.
Well, yeah, you can, but I'm saying Spider-Man's he's a lot faster than Batman.
Did you play with Robin? Because Robin's pretty
Robin's
quick.
fast. Yeah,
Robin's
fast.
but he's not as fast as Spider-Man. It's not as quick.
The traversal in Spider-Man's awesome, like the swinging, and when you can springboard off of something, and it gives like those really cool waves of like the motion when you hit off of it.
You can like jet stream,
awesome.
like where you like just like do like the double boost. So it's
great.
Yeah, it's great. I'm liking it. I'm probably gonna play it again. Had fun with it. But yeah, it was great. $20. Everybody should go buy it now.
Austin, you haven't played Spider-Man yet?
No, I bought a PS4 Pro to play God of War.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
And Fallout 76. I did not play the latter of those two. And I definitely wanted to pick up Spider-Man. I just never got around to it because I knew it's one of those games that I want to sink a full 40 plus in.
Okay, yeah, well, Spider-Man's like, you can get through Spider-Man in like 20 hours.
Yeah, but can you complete it in 20 hours?
I think you might be right, 30 to 40 to like 100% it.
I've seen as low as like 25 hours, 25 to 30 to 100% it.
I platinumed it.
When I play a game, I like to 100%.
It's a cool little open. Like it's not massive because how fast Spider-Man can move, but it still feels big enough to like swing around and find stuff and everything. It's fun.
Well, and as you upgrade your swinging speed later in the game, it does definitely get to that point where you're like, oh, I want to go to the other side of Manhattan.
Yeah,
here we are.
It's cool though. I think you'll like it, Austin.
Okay,
you'll like it. I think you'll enjoy it.
Well, I just bought it, so we'll see.
Nice, very cool. Evan, you got a Discord question for us while I pull up some super chats before we move into E3?
Well, which E3 thing are we going into? You want to go into the Bethesda one right away?
Yeah, you can do Bethesda. Go for it.
Do you feel it's a bit disrespectful to consumers for Bethesda to be doing what it's doing with its mobile games market? For instance, bringing a mobile game with microtransaction focus to the Switch, as well as the resurrection of an old title in the form of a mobile game.
They talking about what's
Commander Keen. Yeah.
Yeah, Commander Keen. People were not happy with that. The design was pretty bad. So
you didn't like the Johnny Test-esque like cartoon intro?
Man, I know why these developers.
See how it's disrespectful.
Like, isn't Blades like really, really bad with its microtransactions?
Yeah, but when it's going to come to the Switch, it's just going to be you buy the game.
No, it's free. It's free on Switch.
Yeah, I thought so. Right. Yeah, it's free, and then they go here, give us give us money.
But then it's no different than Fallout Shelter.
So no, I think
the other mobile game they brought to the Switch. Yeah,
that people liked and people enjoyed. So the problem is what Blade sucks. So that's why it's an issue.
Yeah. Well, I think it's disrespectful just because I feel like it's a trade show that tries to cater to the most hardcore journalists and gamers of like, hey, here's the crazy stuff you're going to be loving. And so to bring out like commercials for the most terrible clicker Clash of Clans bullshit does feel like, to me, seems like a waste of time and a waste of our attention.
They know what makes the money.
But mobile is just such a huge part of their industry now. That's where they can make hundreds of millions, billions of dollars, and E3 is a trade show for video games, so they're going to highlight mobile software at it.
But mobile getting pulled over to the Switch.
But that's a decision to make money. If it wasn't at E3 and it was just in like a random direct where people say, oh, it shouldn't be in a random direct. It's Bethesda to show their stockholders, to show their supporters what they are doing for this fiscal year.
That's but then if it wasn't there, we wouldn't have dude in the front screaming about Commander Keen having, microtransactions or whatever. Gosh, that crowd. I think it's just they just want to show people mobile games because it makes them a bunch of money. But they need to do something else with they're doing, I guess, Doom Eternal, right, for the Switch. If they're talking about disrespectful for Switch. But I'm surprised they haven't pushed a Fallout over yet.
In terms of like disrespectful, I don't see it as disrespectful. I think that they're treating partially the Switch like they are putting games like Doom and like Wolfenstein on the Switch, but they're putting these mobile-esque games on there because they're also treating it as a half mobile console because some people see it that way. It's like, oh, I take this on the go. It's like my phone. I can do certain things on it. That's why they're going to throw any game that they put on a cell phone onto the Switch.
Let me go through some of these super chats here. We got Danny Lee. No message. Thanks, Danny Lee. Ethan R says, get Game Pass for Sarabond and RE5 for $1.
And Banjo-Kazooie.
Yeah, Kazooie's on there. And that Kazooie and Tui got an a patch so that it does 4K and everything now, and it runs at 60. So I guess it's 4K.
Do they?
Yeah, that's coming out. If it's not out yet, it's out soon. But I was getting like enhancement patch.
I'm down for that.
Yeah, check that out. Yep. I guess that's technically the best way to play it now because the N64 version runs at like 20 frames.
It's been the best way to play it.
Yeah, it's great on there. Matthew, no message. Thanks, Matthew. Wishbone says NVIDIA would be great on TurboGrafx next gen. What's that? That would have to be Konami. Konami's not doing that. I can't believe they announced a plug and play TurboGrafx system. That's weird. Andy Ackerman says this week's SC message goes out to Max. Get it, brother. Almost there.
Ooh, 150 is getting close. I can already see a bunch of people subscribing. I appreciate it.
Cool, man. Cool. Very good. Jaden, no message. Thanks, Jaden. Will says, anybody get Curse of the Moon at Best Buy? I can't find it. Also, big fan. Congrats on the baby Spawn. Also, is Final Fantasy 12 Switch any good? Yeah, Final Fantasy 12 is a very good game.
Yes, it is.
On Switch, it's great. The one downside I do want to warn you about is it drains your battery fast. Definitely faster than any of the other Final Fantasies I've put on there. For some reason, 12 really eats your battery up.
Okay. Yeah. However, if you're doing the Nagelmar, whatever his name is, auto leveling exploit. You could just plug it in and just set it down wherever you are in the house. It's great.
Is that the flan thing?
No, that's the one when you're in the Still Shrine of Miriam and he resurrects zombies, and if your gambit is attack anyone under 3,000 HP. And then, like, once you start doing it, just all your characters level up. You leave it on for, like, I don't know, a day or a week or so, and then you just blow through the game.
I've always done the trick where there's the flans that split at 1 health. So you take off everybody's weapons, put them on just auto heal, and then put reflect shields on. And they'll keep throwing a low-level poison on themselves. And so they just keep splitting and splitting and splitting.
I read about that one, but I never actually did it. Also...
It's easier, but I do think it's slower. Your way's better.
Yeah, in the Henny Mines, that area is just real small. That 4-way intersection where those fawns are.
You can press the button purposely to lock yourself in.
Yeah.
Did anybody get Curse of the Moon at Best Buy? That was Will's other question.
I didn't, but I saw a lot of pictures of it. It seems like they had a lot of copies, but it seems like a lot of people bought multiples.
Probably resell. I'll have to check that out though, because I did want that physically there. Okay. Let me add the Hellshot, no message. Then they also said after that, hashtag free OJ and happy for Breath of the Wild 2. And then Matthew Campos also said hashtag free OJ.
Oh, you know, OJ just got he's coming to Twitter. Twitter.
No, he's talking about OJ Simpson now.
OJ Simpson.
Yeah.
I thought he was like, I thought OJ's like streaming stuff was back.
No. OJ Simpson is coming to Twitter. He made a video announcing that he's coming to Twitter. And oh god, what was the phrasing?
He said he's gonna get back at everyone.
Yeah, I gotta get even. He goes, I gotta get even with people. And people are like, bro, you killed.
And it's 3 days after the 25th anniversary of the murders.
Oh yeah.
Well, and somebody replied with a picture like of OJ Simpson and some like lady in the 90s. It says, "You met my mom in 1995 when she was pregnant with me. Big thanks for not, And he put knife emotes.
Wow.
I got a lot of getting even to do. Was his exact quote.
I'll say I have nothing to do with OJ Simpson.
You have nothing to do with this very old black man.
No, I have nothing to do with him.
Also, you have hair. He doesn't. Clear differences.
Outside of us wearing the same number when I played football, some people said the reason why I got the nickname is that I played very much like him when he was before he killed people.
Okay.
Okay.
Allegedly. Before
I'm nervous right now. You guys all go subscribe to my channel and help me out, please.
Allegedly.
Richard Bender says, shout out to all my peeps over at r/SpawnWave. Cool. H Hall, no message. Thanks to H Hall. Squint ATL Atlanta, no message. Ethan R says, when's the aggro crag coming in, Jordan? Money wasted. No, they don't forget, Jordan. They don't forget.
I didn't order it yet because Sean hasn't ordered it yet. We haven't decided which ones we're getting.
Yeah, well, Sean needs to get a pro. He's
getting a pro controller.
I tried to buy an aggro crag.
They're not that expensive. They're on eBay. There's a few.
Dreamcast guy's mom says, can we get Alinity or Clean Prince Gaming on SpawnCast? Well, I know who Clean Prince Gaming is, so
Alinity's the Twitch streamer who said, can we copy strike PewDiePie?
Well, I'm sure we could get Clean Prince on here at some point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've talked to him. Yeah, and obviously I think Jordan understands who he is.
I talk to him almost 3 times a day.
Okay, there you go. Very good. Let's move into E3. We already talked about EA last week, so we're good on that. Actually, no, you know what? There was one other super chat, and I saved this till right at the end. It's from DW saying hashtag bring back national decks.
Yes.
So, Austin, before we go into E3 real quick, what's happening with that?
Okay, I'm going to make this as quick as possible. So, the national dex is something that once you complete the main story of a Pokemon game, which when you're playing through, you have what's known as the regional dex. Regional dex is all the Pokemon that are present in that area. And then once you complete the game, you get the national dex, which is the full proper number order of all the Pokemon. And it starts all the way from Pokemon Generation 1 up until the current generation of whatever game you're playing. In Pokemon Sun and Moon, Ultra Sun, and Ultra Moon, the national dex was not present. And the regional dex in Sun and Moon went to 300. Ultra Sun and Moon went to 400. And after that point, you were able to transfer your Pokemon from Pokemon Bank, essentially the storage system of all your Pokemon, and they just wouldn't show up with a dex number. However, now with Pokemon Sword and Shield, they're talking about that if it's not supported in the regional dex, also they're not having a national dex, that all your Pokemon from the now Pokemon Bank, going to be called Pokemon Home, you're not going to be able to transfer them in whatsoever. They're just not going to be coded or supported into the game. And a lot of people are, one, very upset about that because Pokemon has always been like, hey, we know that you love all your Pokemon. You never want to leave them behind. You have to leave them behind now.
So it's not going to be possible to catch all the Pokemon in these new Sword and Shield then?
Well, it hasn't been possible to capture every single Pokemon in a very long time. Ever since Generation 6 with XY, Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire. That was the last generation that allowed you to get all of the non-mythical Pokemon between 4 games of the same generation. In Sun and Moon, Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, there were 125 Pokemon that you could not obtain, including mythicals. And going into Sword and Shield, a lot of people think that, one, they're going to patch it in and you're going to be able to do it. I have some fun theories that me and Pimp Knight are going to be doing a collaboration on and releasing this week, discussing some ideas that could be going forward that could make everyone happy. However, this does point to the next games, Pokemon of 2020, being Diamond and Pearl remakes, are going to have a lot more of those supported Pokemon. So there's a good chance that we're going to see a lack of Generation 4 Pokemon and Pokemon Sword and Shield.
Excuse me, did you say Diamond and Pearl remakes?
Yeah.
Hasn't that been a theory or rumor for a long time?
That's been a want for like 5
for a
years.
long time. However,
yeah, but I didn't believe it. Really?
If you look at the sales of Black and White 2 and look at the sales of Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, and compare that to the sales of Heart Gold and Soul Silver and Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire, remakes sell. And especially when on a new generation, they want to use the new hardware and reimagine or re-envision an older region.
That's my favorite. That's my favorite one of all time, Austin.
From a business standpoint, it makes sense.
I would love that. That you made me very happy, right now. I'm very happy with you right now because I know you're a Pokemon guy, so I'm very happy with that.
There's a very good chance that 2020 we're going to see Diamond Pearl remakes
or more Let's Go games.
Well, we may be seeing Let's Go games, but I don't feel as though they would be released at the same time to compete with the hardcore or the core RPG series.
I was thinking we would get a dual release where something's earlier in the year with like Let's Go, and then we get the main releases at the end of the year with like Diamond and Pearl.
Yeah.
So are people just concerned, Austin, that this won't have a lot of Pokemon in it? Is that the problem?
Well, no one is concerned that there won't be a lot of Pokemon because there's going to be at least 400. My number is 500. My money is literally on between 5 and 550. 500 more likely. There's going to be a lot of Pokemon, except they're ditching Pokemon that require just way too much work. You may have seen some videos on YouTube about 1,000 Pokemon already. They're referring to how many forms of Pokemon. An example from Generation 2, there's a Pokemon named Unknown, which there are models for every letter of the alphabet and then some. So for this one Pokemon, they need to create 27 or 28 different models of it. And that's just time that they don't want to spend. Also, when you really look at the graphic comparison between Pokemon Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon versus Let's Go. Let's Go is a little bit better, but when you compare it to what we've seen in Ultra Sword and Shield, it's dramatically better. And in my video coming out, I'm literally going to be breaking down like Machoke's ripped, as opposed to Let's Go. It looks like he skipped leg day because of the shadowing.
So is this a big deal then, Austin, or no? What's happening?
I like to think of myself as very forward thinking. I'm not mad at it. I think it's great. I love the idea. There's way too many Pokemon and so many of them that are forgettable. Like, yes, the first Pokemon game that you played, there's going to be Pokemon that you absolutely love and adore. But then there's ones that like you don't care about. You caught it. It sat in a box forever. No one cares. So like,
so are people just concerned that like they have a Pokemon right now they're thinking about that they want to use and it just won't be in Sword and Shield because they don't even know, like people don't know what's actually in the game yet.
You better have Ekans.
It's all sentimentality. It's I've had this Charmander for all these years and I want Charmander to stay with me in these new games. And it messes with the competitive scene a little bit. it's not as big of a deal beyond a sentimental value standpoint, though.
Yeah, and anyone who has that train of thought of this ruins it, then you're not really experiencing the games. You're probably the people who complain that the new games are too easy. You just blow through it, get to the post story, and then you're upset with how easy the game was. But when you play from the beginning, the way that it's intended to, and you turn off all the helping features because we're adults, and like it's a lot of fun.
It's I wonder if they'll do patches and stuff down the road, because the Switch takes patches a bit easier than like
they haven't even actually given a full like stance on the subject. They said this wasn't something that we were really thinking about. They haven't said they won't do it. They haven't said they will.
Right.
It's still in limbo, and people like expecting them to hit this launch date this year and have all of those type of features of like all those type of Pokemon would have been crazy. People saying, "Oh, Game Freak's lazy." No, they're not lazy. To release a Pokemon on time, you can't delay a Pokemon game because they have merchandise for movies, the show, and everything else. They have to hit that date. Delaying is not an option. You either you have to release it.
Yeah.
So to do something like that would have just been, hey, we'll patch it in next year. Or
but whatever. Also the other excuse, the other side of it is they've had so much time, and they've said they've had so much time working on this game because the main core Pokemon team who's been doing this one were the people who did Sun and Moon, and the B team was doing Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. So they've had from probably during or even earlier than 2016 till now to code all that if there were allowing the transfers to come into the game. And,
that's coding and animating, 800 Pokemon.
And it's also 3 years.
Yeah.
But is that enough time?
It's not 800 Pokemon. It's 1,000 forms of Pokemon.
Yeah.
Is that
it's a lot of work. I'm not saying it's right or wrong.
Like
I'm just saying
if you want to include Rotom, you need to do 6 different Rotoms that are all very different. Plus, with Dynamaxing, they're literally going to be enormous, and you're going to be able to see every single imperfection. So the people who play the Citra emulator and upscale it to 4K, and they're like, this looks great. Yeah, it looks great because you're used to looking at it on a screen that's 200 pixels wide. But once you see it in full 1080, and like, plus it's massive, like you're going to see imperfections, and they don't want that.
I think we just need to wait a bit longer to see what they announce for like even how many Pokemon are in the game. We don't even know that yet, right? So like I guess we have to wait for that to come out. Yeah. Before we can kind of go from there with national decks and everything. So
people are just getting upset because it's something to do.
Okay, that's about right.
As a casual Pokemon fan, somebody who's played and beaten a good chunk of them, but not all of them, I think that this is cool. I feel like we needed eventually, we were going to have to slim things down a little bit. And I think focusing on the cooler, better designed Pokemon, okay with me.
I'm just happy to be off that 240p screen. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I like the wild area. That's the thing that I like. They were showing it off at the treehouse.
Yeah, and the YNet integration that makes it almost Dark Souls-esque, from what I heard. Like that sounded crazy. Whereas people just pop in, they're like, "Hey, how's it going?" You're like, "Oh, yeah."
I thought that was cool, and also the co-op seems like it's going to be fun too, like the max rate co-op. So I was excited for like the new features and them focusing on that. But I do understand for like the hardcore Pokemon battlers out there, because there's a lot of guys that beat the game in like a day or whatever, or beat the game in 10 hours somehow. Then all of a sudden they're online trying to battle on the leaderboards to be like the top spot. So for them, that's obviously an issue for them.
And you know what? We don't like those people.
Shofu's coming for you, Austin.
So let's
Huh?
Who'd you say?
Shofu. That was a joke, though.
Okay.
So let's move on to E3. We can talk about the press conferences. I have them all up here, just for my list that we can cover right now, because there were some other ones as well. But just for the list I have here, includes Microsoft, Bethesda, PC gaming show. Although I don't know how many people care as much about PC gaming show. Although
I liked it.
Okay, Evan liked it. Okay, yeah, okay.
Well, they showed Shenmue 3. Which
Ubisoft, Square, and then Nintendo. So let's start with Microsoft. I think I have all of the games actually right here in front of me, so I can actually read down them if anyone needed a reminder of what was there. The Outer Worlds, Bleeding Edge, Ori the Will of the Wisps, Minecraft Dungeons, Star Wars, of course, was shown again, Jedi Fallen Order, Blair Witch, Cyberpunk 2077, that had Keanu Reeves coming out on stage, Spiritfarer, Battletoads, Legend of Right, Microsoft Flight Simulator, which was an odd left field announcement.
Brought it back.
Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition, Wasteland 3, Psychonauts 2, and of course they acquired Double Fine. Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga, which is a bit different, I think, that a lot of people were thinking it would be. There were some notes that came out about that game. It looks a bit different than normal Lego games. Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, so that Dragon Ball Z action RPG game got a title. 12 Minutes, Way to the Woods, Gears 5, Dying Light 2, Forza Horizon 4, Lego Speed Champion, State of Decay 2, Heartland, Phantastar Online 2, Crossfire X, Tales of Arise, Borderlands 3, Elden Ring, and then of course we saw Halo Infinite there. Somewhat, it was like a cinematic trailer.
But what did we really see out of any of those?
We got to see Minecraft Diablo.
Yeah, Minecraft Diablo. That actually looks all right. You know what? I'm okay with that. That looks interesting. And then of course saw Keanu Reeves come out on stage, and we saw that Cyberpunk's going to be out in April, which is good because some people weren't even sure if it was going to make a 2020 release. With
And
the way they talked about it.
And to the 2,697 people watching right now, you're all breathtaking.
Yeah.
No, you're breathtaking.
Did you see the guy apparently was like about to get like a free collector's edition or something, but he asked them to like donate money instead.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was interesting.
Oh, wow.
I did see that he was filming. It was funny seeing it from his point of view, to see Keanu Reeves turn and be like, "You're breathtaking." That was great.
But I looked at his Bleeding Edge is the one that I'm still not sure about. I think we get to play that soon though, don't we?
Yeah, June 27th. I signed in for the alpha. I'm excited for that. After a bunch of people got to play it, it actually won Game of Show from a couple outlets.
Wow, really? Interesting.
Yeah. Apparently, of all the playable demos, it was one of the most polished and refined. I still want to try it myself because that trailer was not.
It wasn't a good trailer.
I feel like arena games get announced at almost every E3, and they always get like up and then just vanish, and they're gone, and nobody cares anymore. So like,
also somehow Ori fell to next year, right? February. That's weird to me. I don't know how like that game feels like we've been hearing about that forever. How many years has we've been hearing about Will of the Wisps? I feel like it's been.
This is only the second E3.
Is the second E3? Okay.
2 E3s too much for that game, and that should be a game that's like Ori comes out like later. Like
Ori is amazing. Ori is perfection. We should see it. We should see it every single day of the month.
No, I understand. I understand it's good, but I don't know why you got to have it at 2 E3s. Why can't you just announce it when it's ready to go, then like release it sometime soon? I think that's more hype than sitting there.
It's amazing. It needed 2 E3s because this is the will of the Wisp. Don't question the will of the Wisp. They want it to be at E3 again this year.
How many E3s do we see Breath of the Wild?
A lot.
It got delayed, and I would rather have it to where they have it like ready to go, and then they announce it, and then it's ready to go that year. I like games like Astral Chain. Like they announced it this year, it's ready to go. That gets me way more hyped than sitting there and waiting 2-3 years for a game.
Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Huh?
Final Fantasy VII Remake.
To be real, that one, the completion of it's going to be like
that was stupid. I'm not a fan of announcing it 5 years ahead of time. Or
the Metroid Prime 4 JPEG
title screen. Yeah, like to me, I'd rather have the games announced and then released like it was, or at least somewhat within the same time period. Like waiting 5 years or 2-3 years for a game. I mean, I don't know. That's just
Phantasy Star Online 2 though. That had to catch everybody off guard at a Microsoft event.
I mean, that came out 6-7 years ago. So the fact that it just randomly popped up, that blew my mind. I was genuinely shocked. And now they said it is coming to other consoles.
Yeah, it's coming. Phil Spencer said it himself on with Jeff Gerstmann and Giant Bomb. He said it's coming to all consoles. So I guess that means PlayStation and Switch.
Can I ask a question about that game? They said on the trailer, it said Azure. So is this going to be the cloud version for everybody here in the West?
I think they might just be using the servers, right? I don't know if they're doing a cloud for everybody. I think they might just be using the servers.
I think that there will be some sort of install, and then we'll also stream a lot of it. Like it'll stream a huge chunk of like cast spells and stuff. And it sounds like that's maybe the reason that it's not coming out in Europe right now, and people are mad.
Yeah, I feel like Sega didn't want to deal with servers in North America, and I guess Microsoft was like, "Well, we have Azure. You can just use that." Yeah. Said, okay, let's do it. And then that was it. I feel like that was the agreement, and that's why probably Microsoft was wanting to bring it over.
Because we didn't see anything else like that, right? With the game that's online, they don't ever put Azure or whatever. Like it literally showed up in the top corner. So that's what got. I was like, whoa, what is that? You know, because I've never seen that before. You know,
they're gonna start marketing that stuff, like because Sony and them have that handshake or whatever. They're probably gonna start putting that. You'll see those in like the credits that pop up occasionally in the beginning. You'll probably start seeing that pop up here and there. But I feel like that's why they probably Sega didn't want to pay for servers. Microsoft like, hey, can we bring it over, put on our show, and let you use our servers? And that's all I can assume that happened. 'Cause that was so weird to see that there.
Bums, man.
It's good to see that there, though. I'm excited for that to come over. I really am. That's gonna be really cool.
I'm gonna get it too, but I'm just like, man, 7 years. I mean, I'm hyped. I think I'm hyped.
Yeah, free to play. It's very popular. It should be fun.
Well, one thing I saw is there's actually a pretty big community of people who have been using like translation mods and stuff and playing it for years in Japan by like creating a VPN because you're not even allowed to log in unless it says you're physically in Japan. And I think Sega released a statement now that those characters will never exist on American servers. And there are some people who are like, cool, so I played this game for 6 years and the character's just dead.
But the good news there is they should have an advantage over everyone who starts here because that means there'll be a fresh server. So they can just walk in and be like, oh, I can go to max level real quick because I know how to do it real fast. So
right, they'll be doing all the quests, getting all the super weapons.
They need to patch it a national dex for the game. Needs a national dex for Fantasy Star Online.
Game Pass for PC. Evan, did you take a look at this at all?
What, actually purchase it? Nah, I haven't looked completely into it
at all because they have the Game Pass Ultimate thing going on. It's like $1 and you get it for I don't know a couple months actually. I think.
Yeah. I went to a movie yesterday and I was actually in the pre-movie stuff.
It was. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was for Men in Black? It was in front of Men in Black.
Mine was The Dead Don't Die.
How was that, by the way?
It was
Sorry to movie talk.
Super dry humor. I don't know if you'll like it, but it was a huge throwback to the Romero stuff.
Well, I saw Men in Black, and it was something.
it was a movie.
I want to look at movie to see what's on Game Pass for PC.
I might look around because we were talking about it being the way to circumvent the Epic Store for Metro.
Yeah, that's right because it's on there. Yeah, so play Metro, Evan. I already have it because I have Ultimate. So if you have Ultimate, you have Game Pass, Xbox Live Gold, and then Game Pass on PC. So interesting stuff there. And then they did talk about Project Scarlet, but when they talked about Project Scarlet, I feel like they just described a PlayStation 5. Different.
And now there are leaks coming out that says the PlayStation saw what Scarlet's going to be, and it's going to be stronger. I think everybody's probably still working on it. We'll see. I think that this is all a big dick measuring contest right now.
It is interesting that both companies focused heavily on the load times as like their main thing for the next console. Like they knew
that's where like the next I think real jump is going to be is mechanical drives behind.
So during that I was really into it. There's that 2-hour really controversial interview of Todd Howard where he just talks very candidly, IGN Unfiltered. And one of the things he talked about is that while they were working on the Xbox 360, they came to Todd Howard and said, what kind of game could you make on these cheap specs? And they were like, well, we can't finish Oblivion. Like we're working on Oblivion right now. If you make this crappy console, we can't do it. And apparently they went back and restructured how like RAM worked and restructured the internal hard drive, and that's when like they were like, okay, it'll work. So I bet that what happened is this time they said, developers, what do you want most? And I get everybody said like solid state.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean they talked to all the big developers and publishers and everything about that. So that'll be fun though. It'd be cool to see that if we can eliminate load times at least to the point where they're barely noticeable. That'll be awesome. I really hope that. Install times. You know how long it takes to install Red Dead Redemption 2 to your system?
3 hours.
Ever.
But I think one of the issues is like the solid state. It's like, well, how much do you get, and how much is it going to cost? Because like that is a cost that's going to make it more than regular.
It's got to be a terabyte. It's got to at least be a terabyte.
Terabyte of solid state. I mean, I know it's getting cheaper. I do know that it's getting cheaper, and it's not as expensive as it used to be. But that seems like it's going to cost a lot for 1 terabyte of solid state, man. Like, so I'm a little like.
These companies are going to take more losses on their consoles then because they want the initial sales, so they're going to keep them.
I still think it might be 500 though.
I think it's going to be 500 or 600. Yeah.
And I remember one of them saying that they were going to allow the solid state to be used as almost a form of RAM. And I remember for most of our solid states, there's a read-write maximum before it just doesn't work anymore. So utilizing it as RAM on top might be weird.
Well, I think they're going to do their own custom setup inside.
Hopefully,
use like SATA and everything. They'll solder the thing straight to the board. They'll probably do something crazy with it. But that also makes me wonder what happens if it's corrupted beyond repair. Does that mean your system's then bricked?
Which isn't exactly an unheard of thing with consoles.
I mean, if you think about it, the Xbox, the hard drive is internal. Like, if that thing dies, your Xbox is done.
John, you're gonna rip this thing apart. You're gonna get sucked into a void. It's gonna be.
It'll be interesting.
I'm getting worried about you, my man.
I'm excited for that, man. Holiday 2020 is gonna be awesome.
At the same time, you could also think that they could throw in 2 hard drives, one solid state and maybe 128 or 256 or even 64, and then 1 to 2 terabytes because games are huge. You don't need all of those files on your SSD all the time.
That's a good
there
point.
may be a form of software that they have that can, find all the pertinent files to all the areas around you and load them as temporary data into the solid state to have them ready to load.
That's a good point. They could do that.
I could just picture when the next consoles are coming out, everyone's getting excited. Like, oh yes, the new Xbox. Can't wait to play the new Halo. John's gonna be the one. Yes, I can't wait to open this up just to make a video.
Hey, I'm not playing Halo. I'm grabbing Project Scarlet day 1 for Halo.
Yep.
I'm excited for that.
Co-op it. If the campaign is fully co-opable, let's beat it. Like, so you can help me review it. We'll just beat the whole thing co-op.
That'll work. That'll be fun. Looking forward to that game.
I'm gonna buy it just because.
So on the topic of Halo Infinite, apparently one of the Microsoft employees, people were able to interview and talk to different developers and stuff during it. And one of the interviewers was talking to somebody about Halo Infinite, and it sounds like it will be games as a service, according to some of the statements. It sounds like it will take place back on the original Halo ring. And one of the ideas apparently that's being kicked around is every 2 or 3 months, a different section is fixed of the Halo ring. So every 2 or 3 months, it expands and gives us new territory, new quests, and totally different ecosystems. So the game will theoretically get bigger, or they could blow up parts of it. So it sounds like it's going to be sort of a Halo shooter MMO.
Okay, I'm interested. I'm on
Every
it.
game doesn't need to be a game.
Hey man, as long as they have team deathmatch and straight up like old school Halo, I'm good.
Yeah, give me big team battle.
Although we have Master Chief Collection as well, though. So yeah. Evan, you have a Discord question before we move on to the next show?
What's our next segment, just in case we got something here?
We're going to touch on Bethesda again. We kind of already talked about it, but we're going to just finish up with Bethesda, and then we move on to PC gaming.
All right, so we technically went over the Pokemon thing anyway. Who on the podcast is going to get the Final Fantasy VII Remake First Class Edition?
Jordan. Jordan, put that hand up.
Yeah, I pre-ordered it $400 or whatever, $330. I pre-ordered it.
I was waiting there for the second turret to go live. It went live about like half an hour after they announced the collector's edition. So I was ready.
You guys know they're going to get you for like 5 special editions with this thing, right?
Well, so my thing is, I'm only going to buy the first one.
Okay. Or you say that, and then until
they reveal the next one comes with a statue that fits the bike, and then there's going to be another piece.
They had that years ago, way back in, I think, 2000 and 2002. They did these special, like, there was, for Advent Children, they actually made a statue of Cloud when he's falling down beside the building, and you got a piece of the building and Cloud with a sword, and you paid an additional, like, $300, and you got Sephiroth jumping up the other half of the building, and they plugged together. Okay, so if they do that, and I can have, like, Tifa's really big boobs on the back of my motorbike or something, yeah, maybe I'll buy that.
No, the next one.
First of all,
Tifa's
boobs were disappointingly not as large as I thought they would have been.
Oh, geez.
I mean,
and I'm sure everyone can agree.
I thought they were pretty fat. I'm not. What do you want me to say?
The next statue is going to be probably end up being like Aerith getting stabbed through by Sephiroth.
Yeah, if that's a stat, dude, I'm in. I'll buy it.
Yeah, you're already gone.
Dude, you already got me. I listen, I'm the perfect whale, the perfect demographic for these things. Like, oh, throw something out. Oh, I want more. It's cool. It's something I look at. I can look at every day and go, hey, that's pretty cool. It reminds me of good things, and I walk away from it.
They got you.
That's way better than what my idea of part 2 was going to be, which was going to be Seto on top of the rock.
Ooh, oh, dude, if it's that, I'll bawl my eyes out every morning. You're like, your father was a hero.
Yeah. For those of you who don't get the reference, that was Red 13's father.
Yeah.
Who was shot with poison arrows that turn into stone.
Yeah, I've never beat Final Fantasy 7, so I'm excited.
Go to school!
You never beat 7 and you're buying a $300
Dude, it got me.
edition?
The gameplay looked great. Everything looked great about it. That collection looks dope.
It's worth.
I already paid the money.
It's worth playing the original. Here's the thing, Jordan. What you should do is play 7 not alongside it, but right before it comes out, because you don't have to play like. Apparently, this is going to happen up through when they leave Midgar, and that's
just
like
the Midgar section.
That's so fast. The regular one.
So I can beat Final Fantasy VII really fast, but apparently the Midgar section is considered, in game design terms, the first 5 hours. So it sounds like they're making the first 5 hours the first game, but I think they're going to add a lot of extra cutscenes. My buddy, who's basically a Final Fantasy YouTuber, his name is Night Sky Prince. He's theorizing that they're going to change it up, and we're going to actually end the first game by like doing a fight against Sephiroth. So I think that's going to be centered there and have fast flashbacks and establish the universe. And man, Shinra is evil, and then we kill Sephiroth and leave, and that's the first game.
That's what you should do, Jordan. Is before it comes out, play up till when they leave Midgar.
I mean, I played part of the game. I just never beat it.
Shut up.
But then you could beat it twice because you'll be playing that, and then you'll play Remake, and then the next episode of Remake come out, but you'll find out where it ends off, so you play the original up to that point, and then by the end, you've beaten both of them.
Yeah, but they're not going to be the same game.
But you'll be able to pick out the differences and see everything.
But like Final Fantasy VII sounds like the broad stroke storyboard for what we're about to experience. Like they're going to try to fit an extra like 10, 15 hours beyond just the basic.
Apparently, it's two
Blu-rays. They could go up to 40 hours of content if they could figure it out. Like
ridiculous.
If you look at the trailer that we saw, there's already a bunch of scenes that are not in the original game.
100%.
Plus, correct me if I'm wrong, but we only explored 1.5 or 2.5 of the 8 sectors in the original game. So like they could totally do a whole bunch of stuff there.
Well, they also originally cut some content there anyways. There was a different design for certain areas. They wanted to do different stuff with Don Corleone. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that they can explore, and I think they're going to do that. Yeah. I'll crush them. Yeah, I think it's going to be great.
So there you go, Jordan. Go pick it up on the Switch and just play through it in pieces as a Remake comes out in pieces.
Maybe, yeah. I'm excited for the game. Look, I know a lot of the main story beats. I've had friends who have beaten it. I've seen many people talk about it.
No, you have to experience it. You have to cry when Aerith is stabbed by Sephiroth.
Whoa!
I mean,
spoilers.
I already know it happens. Like,
yes, but you need to know why it's sad.
It's going to be
need to experience why it's sad.
That's fair.
Jordan was so young when the game came out. It's not fair to put him in the same type of standards right now.
Hold on. What year did the game come out?
97.
You're like 3 years old, dude.
It came out in 97. I was 3.
I played it. I played it when I was like, I think 10 or 12.
Yeah, I played it like early mid 2000s was when I first played it. So
I played it back in the day.
Wait, hang on.
And that was before I was like hardcore into RPGs.
Jordan, did you play the original Spyro the Dragon?
Yes.
That came out before?
Yes.
So shut up.
Don't tell me to shut. Okay, Spyro. Okay, Spyro's a way different game than Final Fantasy. Anyone can pick up and play Spyro. Anyone can just run around as a purple dragon.
Let's you
don't need to be an adult to play a purple dragon.
I'm going to go over Bethesda real quick, and you guys can tell me if there's anything from it, because we kind of already talked about it a bit earlier. Fallout 76, Elder Scrolls Blades, Ghostwire Tokyo that I'm curious about, but we didn't really see a ton about that.
That's on my hope list of games that we saw nothing about. Interesting.
That's like 98% of E3.
Yeah.
Elder Scrolls Online, Commander Keen Mobile, Elder Scrolls Legends, Rage 2, Wolfenstein Cyber Pilot, which is their VR game, I believe. Wolfenstein Youngblood, Deathloop, Doom Eternal.
Ghostwire. I got a lot of Ghostwire hype.
That should be interesting. I just wish we saw a little more about that, but I guess next E3 we'll see more about it. I don't know.
Like, it's hard for me to get hyped for. Like, it sounds cool, and like the lady who came out was like super cool, but like, what are you excited about?
It's Tango, and I loved Evil Within too. Like, I have a feeling that this is going to be Evil Within again, stylistically, but I think it's going to have swords and guns this time, and possibly magic. And it's just going to. be
want to
open.
be excited for Deathloop, but I don't.
We don't know anything about it. I mean,
You
we
mean
always
the new Bioshock? I mean, that's basically all.
Oh, you mean
Yeah.
cinematic trailer?
I want to be excited for these two. I mean, I think these games are probably going to end up being good because, like Dreamcast guy said, it's Tango, it's Shinji Megami. This is Resident Evil 4. This is the guy that's done so many of the best games ever made. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a good game. And they have the cute Asian girl on, that's going up there. She made me be more excited about it, even though I didn't see anything on it. But I want to be excited for it, but there's nothing.
But I will say, Doom Eternal looked killer. So I'm ready for Doom Eternal.
Yeah, it looks pretty violent.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. I'm excited for Doom Eternal.
I'm gonna get nauseous playing that game. First person platforming is not my it's not my thing, but hey, I'll try it.
That'll be interesting. I'll be excited to play through that. The multiplayer is still a bit weird because apparently they removed deathmatch for the other mode. I don't get that at all. That's weird to me.
Dreamcast guy waiting for that video, man.
Yeah, I kind of want to talk about it. I want to see more on it. So I'm going to be seeing, I think I get to play some Doom relatively soon. And if not, then I will talk about it. Because I love the deathmatch mode a lot. I think deathmatch is great. But let's face it, originally in Doom 2016, it was made by a different development team. It was literally tacked on. So not bringing it back makes sense. So I am a little bit peeved.
Hey, don't be too entitled now, okay? Relax a little bit.
About to ask for content in my game.
You're gonna play asymmetric PvP and you're gonna like it.
Yeah, enjoy what they give you.
So, Evan, explain why we should like the PC gaming show.
Oh, no, I mean, I liked it myself. I know none of you probably would have, but like, there were just games on there that they showed off that I've known about for a while. I kind of wanted to hear a little bit more about, like Maneater, which is basically like the old school NES Jaws game, but like RPG style. So you're just swimming around, eating people, getting some upgrades. Remnant from the Ashes. I think that was the kind of like Left 4 Dead style game, but more, I guess, almost Eldritch horror, but not really, just natural horror type stuff. Greedfall, which looks like a really amazing RPG set in a world that I like, sort of that it's like almost Settlers Age, but then there's still magic involved, all kind of crazy stuff like that. There's just great games showed off there that I enjoyed. And then, of course, I think we talked about the Shenmue 3 announcement.
Was like the headline there. Like there are some quality games, but everyone just talks about Shenmue 3 becoming an Epic Store exclusive.
Yeah, which is one of our questions, asking whether or not people should support it, since 70,000 backers thought it was coming to Steam.
Let's do that question now, Evan. What was it? Should people support it?
If the move for Deep Silver with Shenmue 3 to go back on their word to over 70,000 backers is truly just based on greed in the end, is it really right to support the title going forward, as it might reinforce the behavior?
So here's the fun part. They technically never said it was going to be on Steam. They just heavily implied it. It's like the surveys that went out had Steam as an option for your code.
Yeah, that's because Epic wasn't out at the time.
Yes, exactly. They had a Steam page. There was never really any talk about Epic Game Store until now, months ahead of, from when it's launching. I think they should just give the people who kickstarted it and made it possible a Steam code. Just give them their Steam code.
Right.
That's all, really, I think. I mean, it's already been sold to them essentially on Kickstarter.
This behavior isn't even new for Kickstarter projects. Remember when A Hat in Time kept implying a Wii U version was going to be made, and they never had plans for that?
Yeah, that's the problem.
They misled people because they knew they wouldn't get funding from the Xbox, Sony, and PC crowd. So they lured in Nintendo fans because they're like, oh, yeah, you give us money, it might come to your platform. And then they interview it after, like, yeah, that was never going to happen.
That's the problem we run into with like Kickstarter with these things. We gotta get this stuff in writing from now on.
Here's the thing with like a lot of these, like everyone's like, oh, we want refunds, and they're just like, oh, not giving back refunds and all that. It wouldn't even matter at this point. Any of the funding that went to it during the backing of it, right? It doesn't matter if everyone got the refunds back or pulled away, however many people wanted to, because the money that Epic and their deal, whatever, covers all that back issuing they would have anyway. So it wouldn't even matter the amount funded to the game.
So here is I'm incredibly biased here because I am a backer. I gave $200 to the Kickstarter because I wanted the physical edition. I did the $100 tier at the Slacker backer as well, just to get the separate rewards for that. Should be getting the demo someday. I am supporting this game because I want this game to exist, but as a consumer advocate, I think that if you can get a refund, you should get a refund if you want one. This is ridiculous. Like 100%. Actually, a lot of people have been tweeting me that as an act of protest, some of the people who were going to buy it on PC are purposely buying it on PS4 now to show, like they're pre-ordering it on PS4 now that it's available, and being like, okay, I'm not gonna play by your rules. If you want to try and yank the rug out from under me, I'm not going to participate.
I think the issue is they're looking to get as much money as humanly possible out of Shenmue 3 because they know that only a set number of people are going to buy this thing. Like it's not going to go mainstream. Like people aren't going to walk into GameStop and be like, "Oh, cool, Shenmue 3. Been waiting for this one," right? Like it's not going to be Call of Duty. It's not going to be anything like that. You know?
No, I mean even look at its release date. It's going up against Pokemon and Death Stranding. Well, if I want to buy 2 games in November, guess what, Shenmue 3? You're going to the third one. I'm waiting for you probably to fall for sale because Shenmue 3 is going to be out of those 3 games. Shenmue 3 will hit $40 or even $20. What? Maybe by February?
It's going to be quick. Yeah, but I mean, so they're just like, Epic flashed the cash in front of them and they said, well, we'll take that.
It's a fail safe. That means no matter what, that they're fully funded, even now they can have that deal. So when all the backers got their money back, it doesn't matter.
And they developed it on Unreal Engine. And if you develop on Unreal Engine, you sell in the Epic Game Store, they waive all your fees for using that engine.
Yeah, there's that. And then there's also the thing of, for a long time, they weren't even advertising it. Every advertising dollar up until a month ago was being paid by Sony. Yeah. Every commercial, every trailer, that was all being done by Sony.
Advertising that thing real quick. And then we saw trailers for it. And I was like, that's why.
Yeah, my Twitter feed's been pretty split. You got all the people who are like, "Oh, I can't wait. I love Shenmue 1 and 2." And then you got the people who are like, this looks like garbage. I can't wait to not play this."
Dude, it looks kind of rough still. I'm gonna say
so much politics behind this, man. But it's such a dangerous game because like you're looking at it like from their standpoint, they're like, man, like this is the only shot we're gonna get. Like if this flops, we gotta have something. But then you also have to look at it from the consumer standpoint. It's like, wait a minute, you guys pretty much said this was coming to Steam. I mean, I don't know. I kind of think that they should release the Steam. They shouldn't have taken the money. That's what I want to say because as a consumer, but I mean, it's rough, dude.
I mean, the people who are really mad are the ones that gave them money Kickstarter. So just give them Steam keys. If people already haven't bought them and you release, well, just go to the Epic Game Store for X amount of months or whatever. And that's just
I think it's permanent. I think they just said it would be permanent there for that.
Oh man, that's even worse.
Didn't they? Wasn't there this whole thing earlier about them looking into it now?
Oh, this isn't good.
They're looking in to see if it's a good business deal overall.
Yes, because everyone became entitled.
Yeah, how about it's not? It's good for your bank account, absolutely, but for your fan base, no.
Didn't they? I mean, they kind of just pissed off their fan base with the whole Shenmue 3 will only tell 40% of the story. You know what, guys? You're lucky you got a third game. Don't tell me half the story. Finish it up.
The quote is, gets you 40% through Ryu's life. So we don't know if that means that it's going to wrap up this part of it. Like, if we don't even get to fight Londi, I'm going to be mad.
Point is to fight him at the end.
That's the thing. Like, I'm going to go through 3 games. I'm still not going to get this fight. I mean, at this point, Londi is going to die from old age.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, the game might actually end that way. They may be, Londi died from being 95 years old. And I'd be sitting there saying, this was the biggest tease in gaming history.
Sitting in like the forklift in like the warehouse and read that on his phone and be like,
it's going to be like,
let them walk away.
It's going to be like Metal Gear Solid 4. And it's just going to be like, well, I'm old, I'm dead. And then you're going to take the forklift, his coffin's going to be, and you're going to drop him into the ground and say, I got my revenge.
You know what? I would be happy if we did that. If we just used the forklift to drop this coffin in. That's my only thing is, I've also seen a lot of people concerned of the new gameplay that they released a lot of. Definitely recycles a lot of ideas, whereas Shenmue 1 and 2 are very unique. Like everything in those is all fresh and all new. Like they repeat nothing. And Shenmue 3 is bringing back the forklift driving to a T. It's got a lot of the weird mini games like to a T. What's his name? The little like ninja weird guys. The last boss of Shenmue 1 is back and looks identical. I know some people are a little bit of like, oh, so Shenmue 3 is really just Shenmue 2.5.
Yeah, I think he like went into a coma, woke up in 2015, 2016, and was just like, I'm gonna remake Shenmue 1, but advance the story a little bit and hope no one noticed.
Well, I think that the fans have been calling for. I know, Dreamcast, you've been talking about it well before. Yeah, people have been asking for it, but I just don't think because of the time gap, you know what I'm saying? Like, what would they have been able to do with the limited, a Kickstarter type of thing? You can't make some type of crazy brand new experience. It's got to be something that where, hey, you're pulling from what you know. and what we can put together within the confines of what they had at the beginning. Now, it blew up to be something a lot more. That's the reason why it's taken longer. But that's what happens when you have these Kickstarter games, right? Fan expectations, you start getting a little bit more money. You didn't expect it to be as big as what you thought it was going to be. Then it ended up blowing up even more. And now you have all this crap going on. I mean, it's inevitable. I mean, it even happened with Bloodstain a little bit, right? But just not as bad. But there was some bad stuff that happened with Bloodstain and backers getting upset. Like, this is what happens with these classic games that are being brought back. Like, the expectations just get way too high for people. So if you set expectations a certain level, then you'll be okay.
The problem with Shenmue is that the Yakuza games does everything better.
Yeah, I can say it as a super fan of both. Yakuza is better. I'd say even the worst Yakuza game is better than Shenmue is sometimes at its highest moments.
So Judgment then, right? I should be on Judgment.
Absolutely, yeah. People in chat, or even there was a guy being like, "If you don't like what Shenmue is, just buy Judgment." And yeah,
I'm on Judgment. I'm on that day one. That's end of this month, right?
26th. Yeah,
I'm on it. Then we had Ubisoft. Ubisoft included Watchdogs Legion, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege, Brawlhalla, Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon. I think they put Adventure Time in Brawlhalla, if I remember right. Yeah, Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon.
Just say Tom Clancy. That'll be
every game was Tom Clancy except for 4.
Point. Then we had Elite Squad, Just Dance 2020 though, coming out on the Wii.
A lot of YouTubers found out about that.
For Honor, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Quarantine, Division 2, Roller Champions, and Gods and Monsters. And they also introduced their Uplay Plus subscription service that has all of their stuff on there, and then it'll also be on Google Stadia.
Services and services. I like it.
Yes, services in services.
Can I do a quick little talk about Just Dance 2020 on the Wii?
Okay.
So a lot of people have been giving that a lot of criticism. However, the Just Dance series has actually been used in physical therapy in a lot of different hospitals and physical therapy centers. And while all of them don't have outstanding budgets, a lot of them have the Wii, and the Just Dance series has support them throughout pretty much all of the Just Dance games. So it's nice to have the newer songs, especially for kids who went through major surgery and are now just being able to walk again, and then being able to dance to the newest songs on the radio. It's much more encouraging than if they have to dance to Just Dance by Lady Gaga.
Also, elderly retirement homes as well. I brought this up on OJ's podcast the other day because a lot of people were giving it like joking out, like the Wii. Why on the Wii? There's good reasoning behind it. A lot of these people paid out money for the Wii's. That was a good part of their budget for these places, and they can't afford to get the newest, hottest console to keep doing for physical therapy or for help or whatever it needs to be.
Yeah. I mean, it also helps that the Wii version is one of the best-selling SKUs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, also, are you going to keep that game from Helen? I don't think so. She was electrocuting and shooting people in the face in that.
Watchdogs 3.
Helen, the old lady in Watchdogs Legion that was running around electrocuting people, and you didn't see that?
Who else here is wondering how much of that Watchdogs Legion gameplay was real?
Let me tell you this. Watchdogs is the most misleading game franchise on the market. The first game, blatant lies. The second game, it was like, hey, how about we just don't let you kill people anymore? And I was like, that's not fun.
It's optional. Yeah,
it's optional, but it's like then there's half the fun out of the game. And the third game is like, you could be anybody. I'm like, yeah, okay, all right. And I'm the real Queen of England. All right, I'm Helen. I'm running around tasering people.
It's just the same 20 people, and you apparently have to do backstory missions to unlock them. You just got to do the same backstory missions just over and over again.
A lot of people are excited for it. I couldn't be more bored with the Watch Dogs franchise at this point.
Behind closed door demo impressions have been pretty positive. Apparently, the different characters do play pretty differently, and it's just really tight. I mean, let's face it, this is just an experiment.
I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I'm going to play it, and I'm actually pretty excited for it. But I do agree that this is probably just a test of, can we make a game that's open world, the open world?
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see how all that goes. And they did put Sam Fisher on a cell phone.
Yep, brought him back.
Yes, he's back.
Sneak into your wall.
You got him, John. It's excellent.
He's back.
You got what you wished for.
polygons.
It's right now.
Ubisoft should be ashamed of themselves. This is crazy.
Ubisoft's first conference was trash.
It wasn't that bad.
Why? Hey, why was it trash, OJ?
It wasn't that bad.
It was Ubisoft. No, Ubisoft's press conference is horrible. They're talking about TV shows. Okay.
Yep.
They're out there talking about TV shows. They're out there. They had some demos, which was great, but they're demoing the games for a long time. They're out there talking about the free-to-play version of Division 2.
Don't forget their stringed instrument band that they're touring with now. Like,
they're stupid.
Don't forget Tom Clancy.
Their stupid Just Dance music got all of our channels screwed. No, and I'm going to put that into part of the reason why that's ridiculous. 2 years in a row, you're going to sit here and do the same thing with people's channels. Screw Ubisoft, their crappy Just Dance, and their freaking shows, because the same thing happened last year, happened again this year, and they didn't really have much. And they put Sam Fisher on a mobile game with that Sam Fisher stuff. Like, that's not what people want to see. That whole conference was garbage. I really didn't like really much of it or anything at all. Like, the only thing was Watchdogs. That was it. And the Gods of Monsters, they just showed a CG trailer, and that was the end. And the game's coming out February. So it's like, you could have at least shown at least something. That's like, what, Greek?
It's supposed to, it's Breath of the Wild with Greek mythology.
It'll probably that game's gonna fall into a Nintendo marketing thing. We'll probably see it in a September Direct, because Nintendo. I mean, the platform, they know it's gonna sell on Nintendo best. It's gonna turn into a Starlink situation.
Is Pit gonna be in there?
If they're smart, they would. They would put a Pit.
That's the exclusive they get, just like with Starlink.
Very good. You can't sit there and go out and talk about a TV show and say that this is. I mean, people are bashing Bethesda for mobile games. At least their games. This is literally just a show. That's all it is, and it's only on Apple TV. To make things,
but
not even like
Microsoft did that before.
It's Apple TV only, dude. Like, what the hell is that?
Well, and Sony did it with, what was that show, Powers? And
that show is terrible.
At least Microsoft's, they have the Halo.
Microsoft
TV
show hasn't even come out yet.
At least it's coming to like a cable network or
that show.
It was like 3 years ago. Microsoft was like, "We're making a Halo show with."
Hey,
Steven Spielberg.
they're working on it. Yeah,
Still
it's in
not
progress
out.
right now.
Yeah, it's been in progress for 3.5 years.
Hey, it's doing
Halo
better than how long
Infinite's
the
gonna
movie's
be out
been
before
taking.
this show comes out.
Probably.
Division 2. They spent way too much time on that game and talk about DLC. Like, no, I mean, no, I thought that show was horrible. I thought Bethesda's was better. Ubisoft's was horrible. And like I said, you're jacking people's channels. Like, it just shows you the problem with YouTube. No, I can't sit there and be okay with their show. Hell no. Like, John had to stream on Twitch. Everybody was just getting their channels just out of nowhere. We didn't even get a warning. Like, screw Ubisoft.
Nobody's streaming Ubisoft next year.
No.
Man,
Good
this
luck,
entitlement
Ubisoft.
is crazy, OJ. You need to take it down a notch.
Crap ever again. They give me a review code if they want, but
but you can sign up with their social outreach program for Breakpoint, because they're really into the social media side of things.
And by the way, guys, are you guys all going to sign up for Ubisoft's Plus or whatever? Or
Uplay Plus. It's on Stadia.
$15 a month.
Yeah, dude. But you know what you can get for $1 a month? That's usually $15 a month.
What the hell is this? And then it's
Game
also,
Pass.
you can set up on Stadia and also buy their service also on their. Okay, this is ridiculous.
Do you think
Yeah,
they have
this is
do you
real
think they have
here.
the library for it yet?
Depends
I mean,
how far back it goes.
Yeah, it's 20 Far Cry games, 20 Assassin's Creed games, 35 Tom Clancy games, and then Rayman.
Well,
You guys are so
it's
horrible.
let's face it, it's Child of Light. It's going to be stuff like the South Park games, and then it's going to be a live cam footage inside the coffin of Tom Clancy as we slowly watch him rot away as they milk that body.
What I'll do is next year, if there's any hint about a Splinter Cell tease, I'll stream it on Twitch. Otherwise,
guys
I'll probably
aren't
just forget
excited?
about Ubisoft.
You guys aren't excited for the Division movie with Jake Gyllenhaal coming to Netflix?
No.
There's a lot of you guys aren't that confident. It's Jake Gyllenhaal in a Netflix
Show it.
film.
Oh man.
The
Show it.
Division.
They didn't even show it.
The Division move, guys. Come on, this is
That
breaking
conference
news,
was
man.
horrible.
I'd rather play that Division knockoff game on the friggin' eShop than watch Jake Gyllenhaal in a Division movie.
What's that one called? Diversion.
I don't know. I think it's called Piece of Shit.
Oh,
Battle Revolution or something like that. Like
Yeah,
Bullet
Pokemon Battle Revolution.
Battle of Math, Divide and Conquer or something.
It's called Bullet Battle something. It's like Bullet Battle or Battle Bullet or something. I don't know. It's like a
I
fake
don't know.
division.
Well, I'll watch that movie instead. That sounds dope. Battle Bullet.
Bullet Battle or something like
It sounds
that.
like something
They
WWE
killed
would
his
produce.
family.
You would play, Nate. That's what it sounds like.
Multiply ammo. This is multiplication.
So let's move on from there. Evan, do you have a Discord question we can do before we move into? We're gonna do Square, and then we'll finish up with Nintendo.
I mean, we kind of touched on this. There was one that directly related to the E3 mass shutdown of YouTube streaming, and I guess insight for potential YouTube streamers in the future with things like this. But I mean, basically, just don't stream YouTube or don't stream friggin' Ubisoft.
Or do it on Twitch.
Or
Those
do-
are the
yeah,
only
do
two
it on Twitch.
options. Yeah.
But we can go with what game would you be really upset with if all the servers for it shut down?
What game?
Dude, I would be crushed if they shut down Diablo 3. I hope Diablo 3 lasts forever.
That's
We'll
a good.
Diablo
That is
4.
That was a good question.
Fork knife.
I'll say Master Chief.
Yeah, you'd probably go Master Chief. I guess.
Yeah, because when they shut down Halo 2, people legitimately left their Xbox on to keep the server up.
Yep. For
That was
years.
crazy. That guy left it on for a long time, just trying to, and then eventually it kicked off.
Yeah, it was that last dude lasted 3.5 months by himself.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Sad.
There's a bunch of super chats to go through, and then we can go over to Square. So let's go through these. Miguel, no message, dollar. Thanks, Miguel. David says, what do you think of all the Sony ads during E3?
There were Sony ads?
Maybe on YouTube or that's all I can think of is on YouTube.
There were ads?
They were advertising the like the days of play or whatever, where there's like the whole Spider-Man and all that, and like all the different stuff. Yeah, a lot. Like when I was at the gym, they were advertising that stuff. Like I saw like 7 or 8 commercials during like 1 40-minute session at the gym.
Personally, I was shocked by how little there was. Like, I saw some of those ads, but think about it. They didn't do any giant tweets. They weren't like, hey, here's a reminder The Last of Us will probably have girls sucking titties. I mean, they really, and for the most part, I think they kept it pretty much on the down low. Like, they didn't remind us of Ghost of Tsushima or anything.
Okay. Yeah, Ghost. Yeah, we don't know much about that anymore. I thought that was going to be something they talked about at some point.
Inside information on The Last of Us 2. What you want to share, bro?
Yeah,
the tap of a 2. Okay.
Yeah, Sony will probably get more active as we get further along in the year. Like, we think that PlayStation experience is going to have some possible PS5 stuff there. So we'll see. Xavier says, who am I going to be seeing next week? What to expect? Is that for too many games? I'm going to assume that's for too many games, Jordan.
I mean, you'll be there.
I'll be there. You'll be there, Jordan.
I will be there. That's correct.
Evan will be there.
I got something to give you, Jordan. It's gonna be fun.
That is it. A little purple painting in the background.
Yeah.
Ooh.
There's actually be quite a few people there, so it'll be really fun. I think if you go there with the thought process of picking up some older games at a good price too, I think you'll have a lot of fun. So it'll be a good time. Andrew says Planet Zoo with question mark, saying Frontier making Sims great again. I don't know, Planet Zoo. Did anyone see anything about that?
It's being made by the guys that did Roller Coaster Tycoon. It's basically just another simulation theme park game.
Oh, Evan, do you want to tell us about the roller game real quick?
Roller Champions. I mean, it was really fun. I had a lot of fun with it. I can't wait to see what it's like fully released because it had a lot of like bad performance issues for one of the maps, at least. The main map out, the El Poco one or whatever, was great, but then there's like a Mexico City one that it lagged a lot of people's systems. Watching streams, it would just cut frames down to like 10 or 12. So it was god awful terrible. They definitely need to fix that. But strategically speaking, for a lot of people, yeah, it's basically looks and feels a lot like Rocket League. But there's levels of strategy, levels of function to it that push it that much further beyond. And it's still at the same time going to have.
Are you just trying to throw the ball in the hoop, basically?
Sort of. You have to do a lap. If you do 1 lap, you get 1 point for putting the ball in the hoop. If you do 2, you get 3 points. And if you do 3, you get 5 points. And it's a game to 5 points. So in Element, there's a sort of taste of Windjammers to this game, which is kind of cool.
You can do that game pretty quick then.
Yeah, one of the matches I had, we had this one guy would just go around the corner, chuck the ball all the way down to me at the far end, and then I would go around. The whole team would try to get to me. I'd just chuck the ball back, and we just did that 3 times and chucked it in. Easy.
Okay. Very cool. Vaughn Henry says, sup, John, OJ, and the fellas. Anyone going to give Nate hell for being wrong about Nintendo at E3?
He made a video talking about it already.
He did. So. He already said in the title. He's like, did you say, Nate, was I wrong? I was wrong or something like that?
I was wrong. I mean, I was like 75% right. I was wrong that they had a big reveal of their own, but I mean, the direct was still dominated by third party, which I kept saying. Well, I reiterated that 12 times.
We'll talk about that when we get to Nintendo pretty soon here. So keep that thought in mind there, Nate, because I think you'll bring an interesting contrast that conversation. Matthew Hammond says, "Is TurboGrafx Konami's Stadia streaming service?"
Ooh.
I assume you're joking about that, but Konami, I'm surprised. I'll just say I'm surprised they're even coming out with a plug and play system. I thought Konami would have like introduced like a plug and play gambling system. So
this is Konami's best year ever.
Play our top 10 pachinko machines. It's excellent.
Well, have you seen there's that conspiracy theory that's been going around that Kojima, like Metal Gear Solid 5, lost them so much money that's why they got into gambling. Like literally, they had to rebuild Konami. They had to turn into a casino for a while.
Yeah, that's because Kojima was like, hey, I want $100 million. And they're like, okay, can you make the game in like 4 years? You're like, yeah, sure. Then year 7, be like, hey, I need another $50 million. And I was kind of like, you know what, Kojima? Get the hell out of here. We've got enough of you.
There was a Metal Gear Solid 5.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
It's called Peace Walker. I'm dropping the mic.
That's true. That is true.
Wait, hold on. Austin, did you not play Metal Gear Solid 5?
Oh, Phantom Pain. Yes, I played that one.
I'll put it out there. I didn't think of it. I thought it was all right. Some people don't like that one.
It has great base mechanics, but the story, the moment Kojima is basically they're pointing at the door for him, you feel it. It's just like, and done.
Yeah. Weird.
This is the one with Quiet.
Yes.
I like her.
Yeah.
Matthew Campo says, should I get Ni no Kuni and Resident Evil 5 for Switch if I have a PS3 hooked up still and own both? I've also never beat them. I will say this. I think Ni no Kuni might be a little overpriced at $50 for being a port straight from that PS3, just because you can get it very cheap on your PS3. But it also depends on if you're more comfortable having it portable as well.
I'm buying that day one, and I have no regrets. I've beaten it on PS3, but seeing it again, that game is so big and has such deep like collecting mechanics. I think it's one of those games that is easily worth the $50 on Switch.
It's a good game. It's a good game.
It really is. Drippy. Oh, I love Drippy.
If you want to play it portably, I'd say yeah, because of the side quests. Like you can easily spend 300 hours in that game, and it'd be dope to play it like anywhere that you want. They knew about that because they actually made a DS version. It's a completely different style of game, but it has a lot of content too. They made a portable version of Ni no Kuni, but it wasn't the same game, but it was Ni no Kuni. So
yeah, and it's not gonna be like a straight port. I mean, it's still gonna have resolution. It's gonna have all the enhancements that the remastered version is gonna have. It's just not gonna have 4K.
No. Here's the thing about this Ni no Kuni, real quick, so people know. The game is 720p, 30 frames per second, which is exactly what the PS3 version right now.
Yeah.
So that
So
that's
I remember why I forgot about Metal Gear Solid 5 because I bought this.
Yep, Ground Zeroes. Yeah.
I bought this thinking that it was this.
Oh.
And then ever since that, I just blocked it out of my entire memory. So I forgot that I played 30 hours of this. And then when it came to grinding to build up my octagons for some reason, I was like, nope, screw this game because I bought this and that left such a bad taste in my mouth.
I paid $1 for this. I found it at a thrift store. Like as soon as this thing came out, the price plummeted since people were beating it in like 10 minutes.
I think
$17.99. There was one mission.
Yeah,
one mission.
It's quick. Yeah, I think Ni no Kuni remaster is also. I think it's 60 frames as well.
Yeah, it's 60 frames on and I think it's up to 4K with the PS4 Pro or whatever.
Yeah,
and 60 frames. But I think like on the base PS4 it might be 30. There are some discrepancies on that in terms of what you can do on it. But it's not the remaster. It's not like they've enhanced a bunch of things. It's not like it's like they've redone and made it look so much better or anything. It's just a higher resolution.
No, it's basically what Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition is of Ni no Kuni.
Yeah, exactly. It's just that. So I mean, if you're okay with that, then I'd say pick up the Switch room. But it is a little bit more expensive, I guess, on Switch. You said 50 Dreamcast guy for that one.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's worth. I mean, it's worth it. The game's freaking dope.
It's a good game. Sean's mom says, "What is your favorite nude scene in a video game?"
So I have one because it's so bad. The nude sex scene in Heavy Rain, where at one point it says unzip her pants, hold R2 and jerk your controller. So you actually have to like grab her buttons and go like this, and it feels really creepy.
I'm gonna go with the tried and true God of War. Everybody remembers that on the PS2.
I'll go with Parasite Eve because the Parasite Eve like shower scene. I think that was like the first like nude scene probably for most people.
I think I'll go with Mass Effect 2 when who's the girl, Miranda or whatever it is. That was pretty good great. I was like, this is awesome. I was working towards that too. I was like, I'm gonna get this.
OJ's like, yeah, I crossed the finish line.
Yeah. And then later the other one was the who's the crazy chick?
Jax.
Yeah,
dude. Oh my god.
I got real brave. I was like,
dude, she's you think Miranda's hot, dude. Jax is crazy.
Oh yeah, man, she tears you up, man.
Yeah, I'll go. If you go Miranda, I'll choose Jax then.
She definitely does everything.
I can't really recall sex scenes in video games, so I'm just gonna go
I think
with
it's more nude scene than anything else. Like I could say a floor of Dante's Inferno.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
God, yeah.
You could say
the ending
Donkey
boss.
Kong and Donkey Kong Country.
Yeah, I mean they're buck naked. Oh, well, I mean he has a tie.
Well, he actually has a tie on.
Yeah.
Diddy Kong wears a hat.
I'm gonna go with when you don't shower for 3 weeks in this game, and then you take a shower with quiet.
There you go.
Nice.
All right. Mr. L says, long as my Pokemon are still banked, I'll live.
Yeah,
That
you
sounds
will.
right. Okay, cool.
Plus, you're gonna since this has nothing to do with E3, with Pokemon Home, you're still gonna be able to trade Pokemon that are not in Sword and Shield.
Okay.
So you'll still have that functionality.
Lecrang says, seeing how popular Fire Emblem is and how Sega is bringing back classics like Panzer Dragoon, do you think we might get a new Shining Force anytime soon?
But Sega's not bringing back Panzer Dragoon.
No, that's
It's Forever Entertainment.
yeah, it's forever.
I mean, they're licensing the Panzer.
Yeah, I guess they just wanted to.
Sega,
I guess they
but-
wanted to do it, or I don't know how that all worked out. I don't know.
Forever-
I've heard about how it all happened.
Oh,
I don't think it's like public, so
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if it was Sega or the other side that wanted it done, but I mean, it's happening. So
Forever wanted it done. They basically just went to Sega and said, "Hey, how much would it cost?" And Sega came out with a price, and Forever said, "Okay, here."
that's interesting. Wow, they must have been fans of the series, or they just thought, hey, maybe there's enough people out there that would buy this if we did a good job with it. It looks good though. Looks good. I'm on
They
board
have
with
good
that.
people overseeing it.
Oh, good. Good to hear. Good to hear. Yeah, I know Max and Sean are on board with that too. So
Yep.
on
hell,
that thing.
I've beaten everything except Saga.
Okay.
How does Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes have an 8 out of 10 on IGN?
Because I
called
want
money.
to. There was a weird thing. I think that there was a weird thing where only certain people were allowed to review Metal Gear Solid 5, and they like handpicked some of the nicest reviewers.
Yeah, handpicked meaning they reached into their wallet and threw it at people.
They put them in like a fancy hotel, and they were allowed to play the game like 12 hours a day. And they feed you like great food, and all the developers are right there to talk to.
What do you mean 12 hours a day? It's a 5-minute game.
Yeah, well, yeah, Metal Gear Solid itself, not Ground Zeroes. Yeah, Ground Zeroes, you walk in, they hand you a candy bar, and you walk out, and the game's beaten.
Also, the current trade-in value is 55 cents.
Ooh,
Oh, now you're talking what it's worth.
Then I have John Shirtless for Charity When and Where saying, OJ, what are the best Smash characters for beginners?
Best Smash characters for beginners? Yeah, absolutely. Mario's always a great character to pick. In this game, he's still really good.
And
So Mario,
Fire Emblem.
Fire Emblem characters are good. So like Lucina, not Marth. I just say Lucina in general is pretty good. I'd also say like even like a character like Wolf is not bad for beginners because he has a good range. He has a laser that just pesters the hell out of people. Good tools with neutral, fair, forward air, up air, stuff like that. So like Wolf, Mario, Lucina,
Cloud.
those are all characters for beginners. But yeah, I would say Mario and Lucina would be two characters that I pick. Yeah,
Bowser Jr. love. Let's go.
no, he's not the case.
He's so bad. So bad.
Mr. Oh, go ahead, OJ.
A jab that kills, which is awesome, by the way. Like jabs that kill are really good. So if you have a jab that
They upgraded a ton of his stuff. I do kind of want to check him back out.
they did give him a nice buff, but he's still bad. But jab that kills us, so that's good.
Mr. Pete says new consoles in M2 slot for expansion. I don't know if they want you to mess around with the box like that. They don't even want you to open it. So I think they're just going to solder stuff straight to the board to save money. Even slots would save them money if they can get rid of all that. But Arrow says Brave Fencer Musashi got a commemoration video like 2 to 3 years ago. They say, do you think a remake is possible in the future since Square hasn't forgot about it yet?
well, they released a statement like 24 hours ago that they're trying to bring everything back. Square wants to bring everything to whatever the current console is. So Chrono Trigger, hey, welcome to the party. Oh, Parasite Eve, cool. Let's hop in that shower, baby. Stuff like, of course, Brave Fencer Musashi will be slashing again soon, hopefully.
Seeing Charles Mann, bro, anything's possible.
Yeah, right. Let's go. Though. Pop D says, I'm an Xbox fan, but I think the next Xbox is already doomed. Gamers will buy the PS5 since it'll have exclusive. The Xbox won't. Thoughts?
It's too early.
What?
Yeah, it's hard to say anything like that.
I mean,
I think we need to see
Xbox just announced a major exclusive for launch.
I think we need to see the boxes, but I mean, you can play them on your PC, I guess is what they're saying.
Are you going to be able to play? What do they say about Halo 5? Or it's not Infinite, sorry.
Halo Infinite's going to be on PC also,
But how right away?
apparently.
I mean, there's still a mass of people who are.
They're going to put that on.
Yeah. How much overlap is there really between the high-end PC gamers and those who buy an Xbox?
Well, even that, like, you'll hear a lot of the times from a lot of them, like, oh, you don't really have to update like all the drivers for an Xbox, even though it does get updates, but it's usually packaged. Like, they prefer to not think about their gaming and then just have the piece.
I'm going to be honest. I do wonder how many 360 gamers there actually were, because I feel like that Red Ring situation may have bolstered those numbers a bit.
Oh, it did.
You
Absolutely.
know, like I look at that, I go, maybe this is the actual audience for the Xbox 360.
It's about. I think the actual audience for Xbox is around 30 to 50. Maybe they can top out at 50, but it's in that range. It's around 30 million to 40 million. That's what they're going to sell, and I think they're fine with that because they're going to make a bunch of money on Games Pass. They're going to make a bunch of money playing games on everything else. Minecraft is going to be on everything. That's a huge. I mean, Phil Spencer just talked about it recently, saying that they're like a huge publisher for Nintendo, a third-party publisher for Nintendo.
Yeah, they go to their meetings as third-party publisher.
Yeah, Cuphead and Minecraft are huge, and that Minecraft Dungeons game is going to sell gangbusters on Switch.
Yeah,
it's going to do very well, like more than 1 million probably. So,
They also have the Super Lucky's Tale. That was kind of like a quick announcement they threw over there.
I think the big thing here is backwards compatibility. Next generation, if the rumors are true and both consoles are trying to do the previous 3 or 4 generations, you're not really losing. I'll personally probably go with PS5 as my predominant console, mostly because already the PS4 has so many exclusives that are going to be coming over. So,
yeah, I mean, it's way too soon to say anything about Xbox versus PS5 because, I mean, the core base of the Xbox is probably, we'll say 30 million. Like the Xbox 360 numbers are inflated due to the red ring of death. And there was also the Kinect boom that took in a lot of casual gamers who have not come back to gaming because they find that, on their mobile phones. But I mean, Sony still has a peak to what their core base is too. We've seen the PS3 fail. That had a tough time. I mean, it still sold like 80 million worldwide. But I mean, there's no guarantee PS5 is going to be a success just because the PS4 is. Microsoft is launching with Halo. They bought studios to guarantee they have exclusives, something they failed with the Xbox One. So it's way too soon to really declare either system.
I'll be curious how the PS5 does if it really does launch at $500. That'll be interesting.
It'll depend what Microsoft comes in at. If Microsoft comes in $100 cheaper and doesn't have a stupid add-on like the Kinect, or they don't come out with dumb messaging like you can't play used games. I mean, that would have radically shifted how the Xbox One was viewed. They came out with a bad message and they never recovered.
Aiden Quinn says, Ghostwire, I sleep. Ikumi Nakamura says, real.
Yep.
Von Henry says, everyone should know the risks with Kickstarter. I'd agree.
I think it's just disappointment. I think people always know they're rolling the dice, but when you lose a game of cards, it's possible, but it sucks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Charlie says, what are your opinions on Kickstarter games expanding their plans when they get overfunded? I have a Kickstarter up right now and am of the opinion that you should never expand. What would you prefer?
That's my thing too. I've read some stuff. It's basically that they get scared. Like if you're trying to get $10,000 to make a movie and somehow you got $10 million, then all of a sudden you're going to be trying to cast Brad Pitt to play your mom. I mean, that's just how it works.
If your original vision shifts heavily from that, you can kind of maybe even lose sight of what you're trying to do. So
look at Yooka-Laylee.
Oh yeah,
they hit their goal in 40 minutes.
Yeah,
of 135K, and then by the end they were at 2 mil.
Their new game could be cool though.
I'm looking for it.
Well, that money not only helped them finish the game, but that helped them make a studio.
Yeah.
And like give people a career and futures of games, and like now they have a new game coming out, thanks to us.
And it's good that they get the extra because I've read a lot of interviews with people like I think it was Take Two, and even they'll put out a number on Kickstarter and they'll be like, "That's what we think." And then they'll get it or they'll get more and they'll be like, "Yeah, we can make this game." And then they it's not enough. Like Space-Based DF9, they got funded for it. It literally got to about 30% complete, and they ran out of money. That was it. So it's good to see, I guess, Microsoft picking them up and dealing with that crap.
And then David Valdez, the Big 25, saying, just providing my weekly contribution to the SpawnCast. My question is, the excitement around the TurboGrafx Mini, will there be an impact on the prices to the physical games? Do you think they will rise or lower?
There's excitement around that?
Actually, you know what? People were kind of excited about the TurboGrafx Mini. I have to admit, I saw some YouTube videos come up. I saw people online talking about it on Twitter.
Excited or confused?
I think a little bit of both. I think surprised is another word for it, but we don't know all the games. They're missing, I think, Bonk's Adventure on the American one, but I believe the Japanese one has it. So they're going to have to add, that has to be added to the American version. But I mean, I do wonder if prices actually on that could possibly go up because there'd be more awareness around the system then. Because there are people who probably don't even know what the system is, and now they've seen it and they're like, let me go check this thing out. It's possible prices could actually go up because of this classic system. So we'll see. I have to just see if Konami has to actually release the thing.
Yeah, right.
We'll see. I gotta see if them actually like bring the system out. So let's move into Square, and then we'll finish up with Nintendo after that. Square had a lot of people believe the best. Some people still. It's a lot of people are between Nintendo and Square as the best conferences or best. I think Square had the best live one. Absolutely, there's no question there. But they did Final Fantasy VII Remake, of course, Life is Strange 2, Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, Octopath Traveler. They just talked about that going to PC. The Last Remnant Remastered, Dragon Quest Builders 2, Dragon Quest 11, of course, 11S, Circuit Superstars, Kingdom Hearts 3, Battalion 1944, Final Fantasy 14, Dying Light 2, Romance Saga 3, Saga Scarlet Grace, Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, War of the Visions, Final Fantasy Brave Exvius again, Outriders, Ononaki, Final Fantasy VIII, and Marvel's Avengers. What was everyone's overall thoughts on this?
I'm excited for Octopath coming to PC because people could do mods.
Ooh, that's good.
Well, dude. So Austin, you're one of the only super hardcore fans I know of all the Final Fantasies, like I am. How blown away were you by Final Fantasy VIII?
Never played it.
Really?
I own it. I played it for like maybe an hour on my PS3. Never did anything past
Pretty good. It's pretty good.
It's pretty good. The one problem that I think is one of the reasons that people don't talk about it as much, it has one of the worst plot twists of any game I've ever played.
God, yes.
I
love the game until all of a sudden, I was in. It was like an alien movie, and I was like, okay, I'm not sure what's going on. And then it was like, hey, we're all little orphan Annie. All the main characters. All the main characters are like these random like badasses from all over the world who come together, and it turns out that they're all childhood best friends who just got amnesia. That game makes no sense.
I think in order for someone to enjoy 7, 8, and 9, you had to have grown up with it. As opposed to 10, 12, 13, and 15. I even 9, now you could pick them up and play them.
I think 9 you can play now. Like, I think if somebody played, the later ones, of course, but I think someone could pick up 9 right now as well because of how expressive it was and how all the text boxes look and stuff. I think 9 also aged great. I think 8 is going to sell crazy numbers because we didn't get this on other consoles.
This is the first time that we're seeing it since its original release, right?
I think they also. Yeah, they did a digital version of it at some point. I think they did a digital version of it on PS3 and Vita and PSP, but that was just the game with no load times.
Yeah, it was on. I know it made its way to Steam, but it's not like this one. I think it was literally just a dump of the game on a Steam.
And people made some mods for the Steam version, but this looks totally different. Like, that's the weird thing is the screenshots. Honestly, I think they remade the game. The
problem is they apparently lost the source code.
Yeah.
Somehow they
lost the source code like 98.
Yeah, so I hope they actually have I hope they talk to somebody interviews them or has a story about how they found it. I don't know.
We turned on a calculator in one of our storage facilities and it was there.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they took that PC version and they reverse engineered it, or who knows? I mean, it's hard to say.
Well, Jacob found this old hard drive.
Well, I mean, that's what happened with StarCraft. Blizzard lost the source code. Some random dude found the source code at like a yard sale and gave it to Blizzard, and they were able to release the 4K Blizzard or StarCraft remastered. Like, because of this dude, they paid him like thousands of dollars. Thank you.
I'm almost positive that Randy Pitchford found on a USB drive for them.
Right.
It was probably on some type of Randy Pitchford USB drive. Just don't look at everything. Just look at this part.
These aren't P videos. This is Final Fantasy VIII. Well, I'll just give it back.
Well, yeah, we talked a little bit about Final Fantasy VII earlier, but what was everyone's thoughts on that? That was an extended look in the beginning, too.
They showed, like, I mean, besides skipping around, like, they showed that whole boss fight. Like, who's doing that? Like, they came with legit gameplay, some cool trailers, and even teasing, like, oh, yeah, maybe we'll see, you know, Tifa at some point, and then all of a sudden they show it, you know, a couple minutes later. Like, they do a good job presenting that. Like, I thought they did a great job presenting that.
And overall, it looks like a great next step for their style of RPG. I mean, really started to fall out of the whole feel of like turn-based, just pick and choose. This actually feels great. Tactics, positioning, all of it.
Yeah, like freeze time technically to like pick your abilities when you build up that ATB bar and everything.
Yeah, so in the second Witcher in combat, if you figured it out, you could switch to different like bombs and stuff, and it would slow time down. And I loved that about that combat, and seeing it kind of be that tacked on thing for this just makes it just a little bit better, in my opinion. It's great.
It looked like a nice healthy mix between the combat of 13, 15, and 7.
Yeah, right. The topple. It was weird. That topple system is straight up.
You break them.
Yeah. So I was sort of like, oh, that's a good way of doing it. Which, if y'all haven't played 13, like for people in chat and stuff, basically it was about. It wasn't just about hitting your opponent hard. It was about hitting your opponent consecutively. So if all of us are hitting, it'll slowly build up the topple meter till they literally fall over and you uppercut them in the balls. And
stagger, right?
Yeah, exactly. And they were doing that to Guard Scorpion. I heard in the demo people were playing the Guard Scorpion fight is tough, like in a really good way.
Nice.
That's good. Yeah, I'm looking for it. Visually. Is that like one of the best games you've seen on the PlayStation? That looked insane.
It definitely looks good, but there was a little bit more on the combat because I saw people tweeting about it. Apparently, some moves cause certain effects like knockback and stuff. And someone described a fight that they, I guess, had a hands-on thing with, where they actually knocked a guy off the part of the map.
Oh my god!
Like it just sounds really great.
Visually though, that looks crazy. They definitely upgraded the visuals and
best looking JRPG that I've seen. Final Fantasy 15 is the best looking JRPG. You know, this is definitely the next best looking JRPG. Is that
absolutely?
I wonder if the reason it's 2 Blu-rays is because of like the textures and all the
it has to be.
It's not that long. Yeah. It's just really not that long of a game. It's just really good looking.
All graphics, all graphics, baby.
Yeah, it looks so close to. They're getting really close to Advent Children.
Yeah, right.
Dude, you could compare it with that film. I think it's almost spot on.
The film looks a lot better. The film looks a lot better. Like,
the hair looks better. The hair looks better.
Yeah, in that regard, sure. I'm sorry, like the way like faces look and other things. Like it's almost
next gen.
We get hair next gen with the hair. If we can get that like perfect, there's no difference.
PS5, I think PS5 might be there.
Absolutely.
There've been
modules. 2 is going to be great.
Yeah, there've been modules built into video cards for a while now, just real hair physics and stuff like that can be utilized. So.
20 frames per second.
I'm excited to see how the cut scenes are going to look.
Right. Yeah,
gorgeous.
Well, especially with all that new content, like the weird ghosts flying around Aerith, which are just it looks like it's going to be totally different, and I think that's the safe choice. There was like a quote years ago when they talked to somebody who was remaking a game. I can't remember if it was before they announced the Final Fantasy VII remake or they were interviewing somebody about remaking one of the Zeldas. And they said, like, painting a picture again is painful if you have to repeat the mistakes. Like, if you're making a game again, you want to do it totally different that way you're not bored. And I think that's definitely what they're trying to do.
I mean, the game literally has the name Remake in the title.
Right, yeah.
It's not, they're not, saying Final Fantasy VII for the PS4 is in a reimagining of, no, Final Fantasy VII Remake for the PS4.
Anything on the Avengers, guys, before we move on to Nintendo? Any thoughts on that one?
People are mad and kind of downvoting my video a little bit, but I watched that 13 minutes of leaked gameplay, and I think it looks bad.
Overall, pretty meh feeling about it.
Gameplay wasn't that great.
Is it because the way the characters look?
No, my thing is that people's abilities don't look well thought out. It's weird that Black Widow can turn invisible and that Thor is smashing apart random people and has like robot nipples. Of all the stuff I saw in the gameplay, the Incredible Hulk seems to make the most sense. His abilities look properly programmed. I think that they probably started with Hulk. Hulk definitely looks the most done.
This is a games as a service game. Do you think this is going to come out and it's going to see a similar reception to what we've seen with Anthem and Fallout 76, where it's not ready for launch, but it comes out anyway and they add to it as we go on?
I don't think that. So they released a statement this morning, I think, which basically said that there will be a dedicated single player campaign and that cannot be co-opted. It has to be solo. So I think what's going to happen is we're probably going to have a really focused, centered 10-hour adventure like Spider-Man. And then after that is where the games as a service content starts. And that'll be like being the Avengers. And that's where they're going to start being like, all right, make your own hero. All right, pay for this mini skirt.
I'm okay with at least with like a focused story. So
I'm nervous that the story may be very condensed into a very small thing, and the games as a service is where they're really focusing. Like I feel like, I'm not saying it's going to be as long as like only like Avengers Endgame. It's not going to be like a 3-hour campaign, but I don't think it. For some reason, I'm getting vibes where it's not going to be a very long game. Like it's a very short campaign.
So is it Tony Stark looks like Angry Joe?
I think I'm more excited for Iron Man VR.
At this point.
Nah, I don't know about all that, but yeah, man.
Any other thoughts on Square before we move into Nintendo, since we're going a little longer here tonight?
So are we talking about Square? Is that Trials of Mana for Square or for? I mean, that's Square Enix game, but it was put at Nintendo's.
Yeah, I guess it's in Nintendo's. We can talk about it Nintendo.
Okay, well then we'll just wait then.
Okay, that's fine. Cool, that'll work. We did have some Streamlab donations as well that I'll read through. Big Jeff says, sorry, missed a few minutes because I was waiting for you guys to start up on Twitch. Here's a donation. I listen every week, and you guys introduced me to OJ. Not the one, not the OJ we were talking about earlier. This OJ here with us.
Me, normal, non-killer OJ.
Not the knifey OJ.
No, I was barely alive in 1994. How old was I? I was just a child.
I was just being born that year.
Yeah, I was just a child. I had nothing to do with it. I don't even like the Buffalo Bills. I don't even like the Buffalo Bills. I don't like them at all.
Aiden Quinn asks, with the Smash collab and Nintendo publishing, will we ever see the Dragon Quest XI extra content on other platforms? I think OG, you commented on this one point as well, that Nintendo may have put money up to get that done with Square.
Yeah, it's looking like, because Nintendo's publishing the game here, that content that's came to previous Dragon Quest games, so like for example Dragon Quest Builders, that content's still not on the PS4 version of the game, and there's some exclusive content in there. Now it's not substantial like this one, but it seems like Nintendo put a substantial amount of money into this one, more so than not. So I don't think it's coming over.
There's a lot of stuff in this one. It looks good. I'm gonna beat it again. I'm gonna play all that.
And here's another thing. Even with Dragon Quest Builders 2, there's exclusive content in that one, and Square Enix didn't even announce it for the Switch at their conference. They just let Nintendo talk about it, because Nintendo has some exclusive content in there because they're the publisher for Dragon Quest Builders 2 as well. And I don't think that content's coming over. So I honestly think Nintendo just paid for it, and they want the content to themselves. So I don't think it's coming over. And a lot of people are upset about that, but whatever.
But Austin, have you played Dragon Quest XI yet?
Me?
Yeah. Have you played Dragon Quest XI at all?
I haven't played any Dragon Quest.
Look towards that on the Switch when it drops. You don't have to play any of the other ones. You can just play this one. It's actually a very, very good RPG.
You're the luminary.
I like what you said about Xenoblade.
Well, no, this one's a straight up traditional RPG. Like
Xenoblade's awesome. What are you talking about?
That was my least viewed stream ever. I streamed that. I had 4 people watching.
Think of Final Fantasy VII fighting, Austin. If you like that, you'll like Dragon Quest XI.
Okay.
It's much more traditional. It is like, that's the one thing people don't like about Dragon Quest sometimes, is that they're too traditional with their gameplay. But I like it. It's old school. So
CringeLord216 asks where I got this shirt. This is exclusive Austin John Plays merch.
Oh, nice.
Hashtag always plug.
Is that on your website?
AustinJohnPlays.com/merch.
There you go.
Or just AustinJohnPlays.com. Shop Mr.
Beast. Big Jeff said, I had a friend who worked for Microsoft when the 360 was out. He said that the white Xbox 360s were not counted in the final numbers. The 75 plus Xbox 360 sales, he said, was all post Red Ring of Death, which included the free ones they had to send out, which is millions, 5 to 10. I think a lot of people also, if they got a red ring, trust me, I saw this a lot. They didn't even send it in. They just bought another Xbox.
Yeah, they 100%.
I'm not doing that. I'll just go buy one, and they would just show up and they'd buy a brand new one and leave.
Especially when they started changing it, where you had to like pay for the shipping and all that. They were like, "Oh, just pay for the box."
That was when the Xbox 360 Elite came out, so a lot of people just upgraded to the Elite.
Mm-hmm.
They said, I'm not gonna say, I'm just gonna go upgrade to the Elite and be done with it.
And even past that, it was the Slims as well. We had people come in who were like, "Could you put my hard drive in a Slim and sell it to me?" We're like, "Yeah, no problem."
It happened like a lot. It was crazy. People just didn't want to. They didn't want to deal with the mail or anything or wait. The waiting was the biggest problem. If Call of Duty or Halo was out, they weren't waiting. They were just getting another one. So yeah. Let's move over to Nintendo.
Banjo.
Nintendo's showing was pretty good, I would say. A lot of people really liked it. It was a fast-paced direct, probably one of their better ones in a while. I would say a long while. I would say looking at it, just because there was quite a bit of stuff there. A lot of third party too, Nate, as you pointed out. But we of course saw Smash Bros. Characters. We saw Dragon Quest XI representation right in the beginning with several characters, including the hero or Luminary from 11, the Erdrick. And others, Luigi Mansion 3, Dark Crystal, which was an odd one. That was a tactics Dark Crystal game.
Didn't look like a good tactics game either.
Link's Awakening, Trials of Mana, Collection of Mana, Witcher 3, Fire Emblem 3 Houses, Resident Evil 5, Resident Evil 6, No More Heroes 3, Contra, then Contra again with the Anniversary Collection, Daemon X Machina, Panzer Dragoon, Pokemon Sword and Shield, Astral Chain, Empire of Sin, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, The Black Order, Cadence of Hyrule, Mario and Sonic at the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games, Animal Crossing New Horizons, and then a sequel to Zelda Breath of the Wild. What's everyone's thoughts on this?
I literally cried when I saw Banjo.
Yeah, Banjo was it for you, huh?
Yeah. Also Breath of the Wild 2, that's super awesome, but I literally cried.
That's awesome, man.
When editing a video about Banjo and watching back all the reaction videos. Did you guys see the video of Nintendo New York reacting?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
I cried again watching that.
Yeah, great.
There was just like this wholesome, warm feeling in my chest.
I think the thing about Banjo is he's been on the shelf for a long time. I don't think people really count nuts and bolts like that.
No one does.
He's been on the shelf for a long time, and
it's been a while, man.
And Nintendo did it right too, because his design looks good in Smash Bros.
Does this mean we're getting the amiibo of him? Come on.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There's gonna be an amiibo. Oh yeah, Microsoft's already counting the money, man.
I'm hoping that they do an alternative amiibo, and the alternative amiibo has Dragon Kazooie.
I think you might have to keep wishing for that one.
Okay, too niche of a reference. Okay, moving forward.
I've been saying he's running and he's just on his back.
I've been saying, how long have I been saying Banjo on the podcast was going to be a character announcement? At least 6 months.
I mean, I think a lot of us have been guessing at that forever. You know,
it's pretty crazy. Like it gets to a point where people are like it's impossible. I'm like it's not impossible. And that just proves it.
Cloud is here.
So I think the entire direct was super fun, but that teaser at the end completely blew me away. Just even having the words appear of, hey, we are currently making a brand new Zelda that is a direct sequel. We have seen so few of those. There's like Zelda 2 on the NES. There's Majora's Mask. There's Spirit Tracks. There's a couple direct Zelda sequels, but this just feels like a dawn of a new generation. I'm just so curious as to what the hell the game's even going to be about.
Footage.
What's interesting is this is going to be them making a sequel to Breath of the Wild where the Wii U isn't involved.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I wonder if they get more out of the Switch then with this sequel.
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. They'd have to, because they just ported the game over. Now they can just make it for it. In terms of, and they can add a lot of the stuff. The funny thing is that as good as Breath of the Wild is, there's so many more things they can do to make the game better. Can they perfect that with this one? I mean, that would be amazing. But the thing for me was Trials of Mana. I thought this franchise was dead, and to get a full remake of Seiken Densetsu 3 literally blew me out of my chair. I was by my stupid Wii U over there, by my Japanese Wii. I was nearly by the back of my room. I was so shocked that they even decided to do it. And it's not like the Secret of Mana remake on the PS4, which is not very good. It's not that. It's literally like 3D camera control and everything. That just blew me away. That was the announcement that I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe we're getting this, and it looks so good.
Too.
Yeah, they played the trailer. It looks amazing. It looks amazing. It runs great. It looks so good, and it's so nostalgic. Like it has like because I played it like on an emulator, you know, and I played it in Japanese, so I didn't even know what the hell was going on before I got the English version of it. And man, it looks dope. Like obviously, it's not up to the level of like the Final Fantasy VII remake, but we all knew that was coming for 5 years now. This was we thought Square Enix don't give a damn about mana, and there's been bad mana games, guys. After second edition, there's been horrible mana games. PS2 trash. The DS games, not very good.
Children of Mana, right?
Yeah, Children of Mana. Yeah. Oh my god, that game is rough. I was like, why is this?
I put it down. I played the first 90 minutes, and I don't care.
Yeah, a lot of people did that. That game was returned all the time. Like I used to go to this mom and pop shop. They had like 5 million copies of Children of Mana just chilling there used on the DS. It did not live up to the name of what the first ones did. So to see that was to me was the biggest surprise. But No More Heroes 3. That was a freaking dope.
It was cool to see. It was cool to see Suda get that. Yeah.
Yes, finally, No More Heroes 3 was great to see, and Astral Chain even looks better somehow than the first trailer. It looks like
now that we know the story and it actually feels cohesive and like a solid world that I'm going to enjoy diving into.
I think Astral Chain that could be one of Platinum's higher rated games when it's all said and done.
I'm making a video. It could be game of the year, man. It's looking that way. It's looking, especially this year with kind of like the PS4 and like people already focusing on the next systems. It could be, man.
Like I was looking at the gameplay for it, and I was like, "There's a lot more to this than I thought there'd be."
It won me over. It was the most surprising game of the show. It was like how OJ had that wow moment when they first showed it off, and I was like, okay, you know, the E3 presentation. The treehouse gameplay, the second you see the motorbike going in the tunnel and it's doing all these cool, like crazy action movie maneuvers, and I'm like, I'm sold. And it was crazy.
I was thinking about this with this year. Like, when we get to the end of the year, what's going to be like game of the year nominees? Just looking at what we know right now.
Res 2.
RE2, Devil May Cry. Honestly,
Death Stranding, right?
Death Stranding, yeah. And honestly, I'm already hearing a lot of rumblings. People are loving the giant expansion for Monster Hunter Iceborne or whatever. Apparently, that's probably going to be like game of the year. What is the new? Witcher
ongoing game of the year or whatever.
Yeah, like Witcher 3 Heart of Stone won like best RPG of the year. I think we'll probably see that a best RPG of the year, maybe that.
There's also Gears too.
Gears could
but for what? It comes out in 3 months and all we know is multiplayer and a little bit of gameplay from the show floor.
No, we're just trying to go by names and everything to try to figure out what they would even put on the list, you know, because I'm looking at that and I don't know if Death Stranding will be. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if Death Stranding is gonna be up there.
I think Death Stranding is gonna be on there because Jeff Keighley is very in love with.
I think Death Stranding is gonna have some controversy, man. I think there are people who just flat out don't like that game. I think it's gonna happen. I don't know. That's why I'm looking at this. I'm like, we got Devil May Cry as a game of the year nominee. That's not normal, right?
Yeah, Sekiro too. Yeah.
Sekiro. But like these are games that aren't normally up there, you know. Like I'm looking at them, I'm like, maybe Astral Chain does have a chance as a nominee then.
It's got a chance as a nominee. It definitely has a chance as a nominee because of what they showed off. What they showed up in the treehouse was freaking amazing, man. Like the Legion swapping, like having 5 different ones. It's a mix between Nier and it's a mix between Bayonetta, but then it also has some Batman Arkham in it, man, with the Detective Eye stuff, the Iris. So I mean, it's really unlike any Platinum Games played it.
See, I'm looking at. I think I'm gonna enjoy Link's Awakening more, but I know that's not gonna get nominated because of like what it is. Like,
that's not gonna get.
It's not gonna get nominated. I'm gonna have a blast with it, but I'm like, I know this isn't gonna get nominated.
Mario Maker lost its spot.
Any Nintendo games that are going to be nominated for Game of the Year.
What's that?
I don't think there's going to be any Nintendo games nominated for Game of the Year.
Mario Maker 2 will be nominated.
I think Cadence
would have.
Cadence of Hyrule, even though obviously that's third party. There's always one indie game that wins stuff a lot. Like last year, we obviously had what's the Mountain
Celeste
game? Celeste. Yeah, I think the Celeste of this year is definitely going to be Cadence of Hyrule. Honestly, I think Judgment is going to win a couple. I'm pretty far to it. Judgment, I think is definitely the best open world game of the year so far.
Let me get Nate. What was your take on the Direct? Because you weren't as sold on it as a lot of people were, right?
No, I wasn't sold on it as a lot of people. As a fan, I liked the entirety of the Direct. It showed a good diversity of software. As a critic looking at it, I think the Direct underwhelmed.
Well, I asked you this. I asked you this, and go ahead, Nate. What were you gonna say?
I mean, it underwhelmed to me because it felt like Nintendo didn't use E3 to solve any of their 2019 schedule pacing issues. They went to E3. They only dated games up till September, except for Animal Crossing because their hand was forced. They had to date that because they delayed it, and now they've left October, November, and December vacant, and they gave good updates on known software and they gave release dates on known software. But the only new announcement from Nintendo themselves was Breath of the Wild 2. And that's awesome in its own right. But the Direct itself was carried by third parties. Even look at like what we've had. OJ said it was Square Enix with, the Mana collection and the Mana games. It's people talking about third party support for the system. It wasn't, Nintendo came out and they absolutely blasted this awesome E3 on their own. It was their third party partners who carried that Direct. They made it interesting. Now, like Luigi's Mansion 3 was probably the surprise of their Direct for me. That game came out, they demonstrated it, it looks phenomenal. It could be a Game of the Year nominee depending how the campaign plays out. I just don't think it was one of Nintendo's, as Nintendo itself, one of their stronger E3s. Well, I think they were kind of lackluster.
I mentioned this before, and I thought about it more, and I think it's correct. I think they had a misfire on Animal Crossing. Because I talked to you, Nate. I talked to you, Max, about this too, I think, in the last one. I said, because of what happened with Animal Crossing, they must have been sure it was going to be a 2019 game. I feel like they looked at the calendar and said, we can't fit it in here, and we could use the extra time to, work on it. Let's move it to 2020. And they ended up in March. If this Direct had been where they announced Animal Crossing, so no one even knew it was going to be, it wasn't a delay or anything then. I think it would have put the Direct over the top for like everybody. Like Animal Crossing is first revealed, announced, and then you got a date as well. Like we didn't know it was going to be 2019. We didn't know about it at all. People would have, of course, the last Direct where they showed it, erase that, I think this would have been like the Direct for a lot of people then. So there wouldn't be a letdown of the delay. It would have been like, oh, wow, Animal Crossing's out in 8 months or whatever.
Well, I think like part of it is they came out with Animal Crossing. They showed they dated. It was kind of like because of the delay, they needed something that would overshadow the talk of the Animal Crossing delay. So they announced Breath of the Wild 2. What do people talk about with the Direct from Nintendo? They talk about Breath of the Wild 2. They're not. True. The delay isn't the main topic of conversation, which it would have been. Look at all the conversation leading to the Direct for Nintendo. It was, will Animal Crossing be delayed? Tears will shed if it falls to 2020. Everyone was so afraid the delay would happen. Then the delay had happened. And what happens? Breath of the Wild 2 gets announced, and people were kind of like, oh, I'm okay with the delay now because I'm hyped for this potential next 2020 game of a new Zelda. So it's great marketing, but it just seemed, I don't really view it as a monumental win for Nintendo for a Direct. I mean, E3 as a whole, I would give Square Enix the winner of E3 as an entirety. You take the games from the Direct, you take Square Enix's own conference. Square came out and they showed the best games for E3.
I just think of that they could have done an Animal Crossing announcement. They could have done Banjo and Smash and then Breath of the Wild 2 to close it out. Like that would have been a pretty quick 1, 2, 3 announcement right there. That would have probably put over the top, but instead of Animal Crossing was a bit of a letdown. Although the gameplay looks
dope though, doesn't it? Like the crafting, it looks great.
The last time I really played Animal Crossing was on the GameCube, I'll be honest. So I'll check this one out, but I haven't been in Animal Crossing in a long time. But people seem really, really happy with it online. So
online multiplayer apparently, which is
up to 8 people now.
Yeah, that to me is a huge deal. Very excited for that. Yeah. Just real quick before we wrap up, I do love the fact that the Treehouse showed so much different stuff, including the Nintendo Treehouse actually showed us a bunch of gameplay for Grandia Collection, and apparently that's coming out any day. Apparently it's done, and Nintendo is just waiting to give them a release date.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, the Treehouse was good this year. Yeah, there's a lot of gameplay.
Solid. Seeing all the updates for Daemon X Machina, seeing more of the in-depth stuff for Pokemon, it was great.
Yeah, those updates for
House absolutely nailed it out the park. I mean, the high skill demonstration for Astral Chain. I mean, that was great. Yeah, that was great. Seeing more of Luigi's Mansion, that was awesome. Daemon X Machina, some of the third party games, the indie games they showcased. They really did highlight the games in a really positive way, and probably sold people on some of those games.
Oh, that's right. Modern Vintage Gamer said Jedi Fallen Order could be a Game of the Year nominee as well.
I don't know about that.
I'm just happy.
I have a lot to say about that game, by the way, because of how much I played the other ones.
If it makes it in, it's sort of like my dad has a bunch of money and he paid the school for me to, get.
They are missing. I'll say, as somebody who played the Jedi series forever now, like 20 something years now, they're missing a lot from that game.
Like something I just thought of before when I said no Nintendo game this year would be up for Game of the Year. There is a game from last year that could be nominated for Game of the Year that falls in between the window of the Game Awards and the Game Awards.
Nope, don't say it. It's a 2018 release. I don't count it.
Smash Ultimate.
Don't count it.
It's gonna be nominated for
probably will
fighting games.
Fighting,
I don't think it's gonna. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna win.
It won't be nominated for Game of the Year, but I mean, it technically could.
No, it could. But like Smash for Wii U, for example, it was the best rated game that year that it came out, and it still didn't win Game of the Year.
Won't they just forget about it like they forgot about Xenoblade?
Yeah.
Yeah, but however, we've been getting like constant updates, and like we're still talking about Banjo and Smash.
But that's why it might be under fighting anyway, because what other fighting games have come out since then?
Well, Smash Wii U won fighting game of the year. Smash Wii U won fighting game of the year back. I'm just looking at what they did with Smash Wii U. Smash Wii U was the best rated game that year, and then what was it? What was that game? Dragon Age Inquisition won game of the year when it was rated lower than Bayonetta 2 and also rated lower than Smash Brothers. Dragon Age Inquisition won game of the year. So I mean, I'm looking at it kind of like in that vein.
Best fighting game, obviously. I mean, that's what it'll get. So
yeah.
it'll get one of those little trophies that they'll probably end up putting in a closet somewhere.
I'm just happy. I don't have a closet to put anything anyway. But I'm
just behind that Batman thing, man.
Mortal Kombat 11 came out this year.
Yeah, it's a fighting.
I don't think that's beating Smash Ultimate.
No, I don't think it's. I think Smash Ultimate's going to win over that.
I'll probably go up there with a Samurai Showdown, and then just there you go.
I'm just happy.
Like every year they have to really look around for enough fighting games to fill it out. Like I'm starting to get that feeling. I just don't think enough fighting games. Like they want to extend the fighting games through seasons now. It's like,
everything's like Arc System Works, so it's like, can we nominate like 15 Arc System Works games?
Eventually they're going to be against themselves. I'm like, I guess we win.
I'm just happy with
the best Arc System award
with Spyro. Spyro's coming to Switch finally, and then Spyro is also announced for Crash Team Racing for a later update.
I do have some. Do we have any Discord questions left, Evan, before we get out of here?
Just the one specifically, just asking about our thoughts and any info on the Daemon X Machina controllers that Hori's putting out.
They look dope.
Yeah, I want to try them out. I guess message them somewhat on Twitter about it. But either way, I was going to check them out because they actually look like they give a better, I guess, more area to actually grip the sides of the Joy-Con on the Switch and everything. So I think it'll be cool. Yeah, should be interesting. I'll get either way.
I feel like I have to break the fourth wall again.
What'd you do?
It's probably chat.
But I don't think this is what people don't necessarily understand. I'm not saying the Direct wasn't good. I'm saying Nintendo's own presence of Nintendo games was not the strongest aspect of the Direct. It was third-party games that was the strongest aspect of the Direct. Third-party support made the Direct good, not entirely Nintendo. For some reason, people are connecting that if I say Nintendo didn't have a great E3, that it means the Direct. I'm talking about Nintendo themselves.
Yeah, but
how about Nintendo as a publisher?
Yeah, as an individual company, but yeah, the chat
even
doesn't
as a
get
publisher,
it.
Yes, the publisher. But I'm not even going to include Dragon Quest 11 and Builders. To me, that's Square. Yes, Nintendo's publishing it, but that's still Square.
Yeah, and people in chat aren't going to get it, but I don't know if explaining to them again is going to fix it either.
It's the Direct made me happy. Yeah, but did the Direct make you happy because of just what Nintendo showed, or because of everything showed?
I think one of the biggest issues is that everybody always says third parties or we don't have the third party games, and then we finally get a lot of great ones, and then so I think that's maybe what some people are thinking.
And it's not complaining that they had good third party games. It's just saying, for one, Nintendo had a good third party showing, and that was the strongest aspect of their Direct. And it just felt like Nintendo took it a little safe. They didn't bring their usual top tier game. They didn't bring the shockers this time.
Is it fair to compare Nintendo as a platform and a publisher and a developer to Square Enix's presentation, who is just a publisher and developer, not a platform?
You can compare the two.
Usually they separate them. Usually it's like Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo who have the best and third-party publishers usually, but this year it's kind of like a wash.
People are considering Square as someone who put on a presentation, which the presentation itself was really bad. The production of it.
I thought it was really clean. I like that they managed to put jokes in there and they teased it all out and showed a lot of really raw gameplay. So Square Enix was my favorite overall, even presentation wise.
There was a lot of microphone feedback. There was dead space between the transitions. There were lighting issues.
I didn't see any of that, but that's also
Getting into the nitty gritty though.
Yeah, when somebody showed me Final Fantasy VII Remake, my favorite game of all time, coming again, I'm not going to notice if the guy like goes off to the side.
Let me go through the super chats real quick. We have Trevor Voss saying "Who me?" with a question mark. Tien says, "Who's the leprechaun with blue hair egging OJ on? Let him have his opinion." Armchair warrior.
All right, so two things. One, my hair ain't blue. I think you're colorblind. And two, it's called Jokes Between Friends. I think you need to learn about that. But okay, thank you for the donation.
It's getting the rim lighting from the back.
I think he was. Yeah. I think he was joking. And you're not a. Wait, did he call you a leprechaun? You're tall though. You're like 6 foot.
Yeah, it's because of the red beard.
It's because of the beard. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Leprechauns are short though, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
Traditionally.
Okay.
However,
you ever met a tall leprechaun?
That's assuming that all leprechauns are midgets.
Well, I'm just saying. When I went to Notre Dame, all the leprechauns they showed us they were short. They were short people.
And you don't agree in leprechaunism, right?
Caesar says, "When will the first Ori come out for Switch?"
Soon. It's coming out this year.
I think fall.
If it doesn't hit this year, it'll definitely be announced this year. I mean, Ori is coming to Switch.
Eric says, "Nate, I know what you mean. Kisses, $2."
See, that's a good
Eric
man.
is sending you kisses.
Marvel Boy says chainsaw equals Doom and MK11, Katana and Scorpion Mask. Andrew says is RGT at Sonic Drive-Thru.
With Scott the Woz right now, yeah.
I like to imagine he is. Yes, he is.
Nice, lovely night.
Talking about his one-up arcades.
Yeah.
No, he's talking about selling drugs out of his one-up arcade. That's what he's talking about.
Mana Entertainment says FF7 remake equals button mash episodic trash. So mad. I don't know. It didn't look like that. It looked like you had to build up your meter and then you would actually move to choosing different commands. There was a lot of strategy there. It looked like. I think when you play it, you might be surprised it looked like from what
I think he's trying to talk about like Final Fantasy 15. He's kind of trying to make that comparison, which is kind of button mashy, but you don't have the type of stuff that like the ATB and the type of stuff that you can do in this game. But I mean, the episodic stuff, yeah, it is what it is, you know.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see how long these games are if they're actually separated into full-length games like they say they are. We'll see. Yeah. Wishbone says, "Please, Beetle Adventure Racing with SpawnCast Online." They need to do something. I mean, who knows? You know, THQ Nordic's on a tear. They might do that. You never know. They get together with Volkswagen and make that happen. Fusion fix it with $1 no message. Thank you, Fusion. Isla says, anybody tried PixArk for Switch? Worth it. I haven't tried that yet. Ark terrified me, so I don't want to go near anything with Ark in its name.
I mean, it is actually. You've seen it, right? You've seen it in pictures. It's just Minecraft Ark, right?
Yeah, it's Minecraft Ark. Yeah. I imagine it runs better. It can't run any worse. So
you say that now.
Yeah. Message deleted with $1. Thanks. Message deleted. All right.
Did you guys see the new one-up arcades for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
Yeah.
Yep.
Everybody wants it. Everyone wants it.
I'm already budgeting for it.
Rikudu Perez says it's not exclusive. If it's also on PC. That's why they invented the term console exclusive.
Console exclusive.
Joe Munger says Sony has Japan. Checkmate. I think that's against Microsoft.
Wait, that's illegal.
Well, like Microsoft doesn't really like the Xbox barely exists in Japan. I think is what they're saying.
Well, I think
that's for last week.
I think it's when we were talking about developers. I think that person may be referencing to the fact that all the Japanese developers are on PlayStation.
Yeah, that's true. Ian says Star Citizen finished in 2029.
That game's never coming out.
That game's never coming out.
It looks great. Every time I see something on, I'm like, wow, that's impressive. But
yeah,
I mean, that's why. I mean, look, how much does that game cost so far?
180 million or something like that. Something crazy.
That's why it looks great, but it's never going to be done.
Brent says a Spawn Wave drinking Coors Banquet. No, I'm drinking Deer Park Natural Spring Water Sparkling. It's lemon lime.
John, do you know that right now we are the #1 stream on YouTube other than the 2019 Le Mans Ford GT onboard cams?
How many people are watching that one?
8.2.
Should we raid them?
Well, we can't do much about that, but but YouTube knows where Saturday nights take place.
Yeah.
Everybody went to Twitch after that. What are you talking? That's the reason why. No,
You're doing well over there. It looks like.
yeah, a little bit.
How many likes? How many likes does that one have, though, Austin?
I'll pull it up right now. 6.4K. Ooh, more cameras available.
See, we have 610 likes. So that's okay for the 2,500 people watching. I mean, I know we can't get half of that number or anything like that because the Le Mans has how many? You said?
Well, hang on. It's 8,000 people watching. However, there's 5 different cameras that I could choose from. So I should take 8,000 divided by 5. So that's
we have 7 cameras though.
No, like there's 5 different streams that I could choose from.
Where was I? Oh,
I was trying to boost your numbers. Leave me alone.
Got it. Okay. Memerald says at Joe Munger. Oh, Switch. Are you sure about that? Talking about Sony in Japan. Yeah. Nintendo pretty much owns Japan at this point. The Switch. Jack says I played through Final Fantasy 7 for the first time on Switch, having basically never touched anything Final Fantasy game, and loved it. Would you guys recommend 9, 10, or 12 next? Max,
10.
you got
definitely 10. Do
10.
9, 10, and then 12.
Okay. I say do 10 2 first. No, 10 is
he's gonna unsub, dude.
After I finished 10 and I did the chocobo races and stuff, and I got everything all maxed out, I put in 10-2, and I was like, you know what? My conversation I had with the guys, especially Dreamcast guy, he was like, you got to give it a chance. And I gave it a chance. And after 2 hours, I was like, nope.
Oh, yeah. Well, at least you gave it a shot. You know, I feel like a lot of people dismiss it. Like, if somebody tries something legitimately with an open mind and doesn't like it, then you just don't like it.
Hey, don't forget about 11.
I remembered why I hated it, because they took all the personality that I loved of Yuna, and now she has guns.
Yeah. I like the whole dress sphere thing. I think it was pretty interesting.
But Yuna, this quiet little adorable girl who was facing all odds and summoning giant monsters to fight by her sides, she now shoots people in the face.
While backflipping.
And she's a pop star for some reason.
What can I do for you? Okay, I'm not
going She says, if Netflix is putting a game on Switch, when will Netflix be going onto the Switch?
Never.
I don't know. That is weird that's not on there yet.
Yeah,
so.
they got 2 games coming. And
we're getting games, baby. We need games, not movies. We need games on the
Switch. David says, which good Switch game do you think is going to get lost in the crowd for releases coming up?
I'd say Daemon X Machina, but I'm not sure if that's going to be a good Switch game.
I think it'll be average, but it's definitely going to get lost. There's no way. It's like mid-September.
Game's releasing right after Astral Chain and right before Zelda, Dragon Quest. There's no way Daemon X Machina shines.
I think it's going to disappear.
Evan's got words to say on that. I saw him.
No, I don't mind it. Like, that's the game I am looking forward to, just because it is basically Armored Core Monster Hunter. So, like, why not?
I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to surprise a lot of people because there is an audience for that mech style of game. Yeah, I mean, everybody likes Legend of Zelda. I get that, but there is an audience for like Armored Core. There is an audience for people who want like Zone of Enders or people like that. So I mean, I think it can.
I feel like it's been long enough since we've gotten a good one. Like,
exactly.
It definitely feels like it's been long enough.
There's enough users out there. That's why you have to sell as many systems as you can. There's a lot of Switch users out there. There's going to be a lot of people that want variety. Is it going to sell crazy numbers? No, but is it going to do well enough to make the money and be profitable based on the type of game that it is? I think so.
They should probably release another demo to convince people about.
Yeah,
maybe.
Eric says, Nate, see, Nintendo got that third-party support finally.
Yeah, they do. They finally got decent third-party support.
Kiro Tengetsu says, completely disagree, Nate. Nintendo 1E3.
Nah.
Joshua says it's because Nate doesn't have a camera.
Probably.
Blaming everything on that.
It's because he doesn't have a Pro Controller. No Pro Controller. That's the reason why.
He has a camera. He just doesn't use it because it makes him look like he's in the Matrix.
Which is why he should use it, because that is baller. Like,
yeah.
You would look breathtaking, Nate.
No, you're breathtaking.
No message there. The dollar thanks. Eric says, Nate, I know what you mean. Kisses. Kira Tengetsu says, wrong, Nate. They lined up their content. This direct was just spent.
You know what?
Major titles Nintendo was
Fine.
more.
You know what? Going into E3, how did Nintendo phrase their E3? They said, we're going to show you our 2019 lineup. And you know what? They didn't even do their full 2019 lineup. They went up to September.
Yeah, I guess Luigi's
I'm gonna quote what I did in my own video. It was a June direct. We have to wait till the September direct to get the rest of 2019. And the September direct is going to be better than the E3 direct.
Are they going to wait? You think they're going to wait all the way till then to date Luigi's Mansion for what we assume to be
probably
Halloween release?
I'll put it this way. I know there's games coming from Nintendo coming out in 2019 that they have not yet announced.
Like what?
Not scared.
Does it involve any first party characters from Nintendo?
Nate, just quickly between you and me, what is it?
Yeah, I won't tell 2,574 people at all.
In a August or September direct.
Does it include a bear with a bird in his backpack?
No.
You're probably talking about Pikmin 3.
Does it include a bird who's in a backpack on a bear?
Well, what about Town? There's still Town. Like people have been asking about that game.
They have to date Town. There's still stuff they have to date for 2019 that they just, I guess they said, we're not going to do it at E3. We can wait a couple.
There's no need, Nate. There's a lot of great games.
Have we heard about Town since anything?
No.
Or they're just like Sword and Shield.
I think that's
They gave us one new screenshot of Town.
Wow.
Town game.
Von Henry said Doug and Koizumi said the direct was focused on games for everyone, and they delivered on that. On top of a few surprises, Nate is the Grinch in July. Man, everyone's after Nate.
That guy probably believed the Grinch leak. So.
Oh man, here we go. That was a great video, by the way. If you like ranting and they put the music, that was awesome. Sean, OJ and I not friends. He roots for fighting Amish.
Wait, no. I was visiting Notre Dame for football.
Okay.
It wasn't because I was like a big fan. I was there on a football recruiting visit.
Oh, sports.
Fighting Irish.
They're not Amish. They're Irish.
Yep, that's me, the Fighting Irish.
Fighting Amish.
Here I am. My blue hair.
Since Banjo-Kazooie
damn leprechauns
got revealed for Smash, do you think Rare might get back to focusing on making Banjo-Kazooie games, possibly a remake?
Grant actually weighed in on that.
I hope so. I mean, they had to have seen the hype just then of all that happening. You know, it was exciting to see Banjo back. So,
I think Grant literally talked about that not happening.
Oh, okay then. There you go. Dreams killed.
Also, fun fact: Grant Kirkhope knew about this in January.
Oh, okay. Jack said, "Update on Animal Crossing: No cloud saves. Thoughts?" There's no cloud saves for Animal Crossing. That's a bit surprising.
It sucks, but it may be something to implement later. It seems like some games that are online focused just don't work.
I'm gonna be honest. That's actually something I'd want to back up to the cloud.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
300 hours, your town just deletes.
Well, if you in any game that involves trading things away to other people, you can't do backups like
that
Pokemon.
makes sense. Yeah. That's all the super chats. Evan, do we have any more Discord questions?
No, we're clear on Discords. I edited some out just because they were redundant or answered throughout the week.
Okay. So let's go around here. Austin, thanks for joining us tonight as a guest. Where can they find you, man?
Here, I mean, not on this channel, but on YouTube. I make content about Pokemon and Zelda and other Nintendo stuff. And for very briefly, we're going to talk about Banjo because a lot of people watching the stream have no idea who he is and why he's so special. But tomorrow at noon, 12.5 hours from now, there's going to be a great documentary video that I may or may not cry in.
Okay. Very good. And then Max, where can they find you, man?
YouTube.com/Dreamcast guy. This coming week, I'm basically getting no sleep because I have 3 big videos. Monday, the Bloodstained Ritual of the Night review. Thursday will be the review of Judgment, and then Friday is the review of Crash Team Racing.
Okay. And then Ed Diaz says Nate is objectively great. So there you go, Nate. Where can they find you, Nate?
They can find me at Direct Feed Games on Twitter. They can find a link to my YouTube channel there, where I have a video where it's actually called How I Was Wrong About the Nintendo Direct. And they can listen to it, and they can listen to my points made in that video.
That's the words I want you to say, Nate. Thank you.
And then Hellman says, in before the end. Yes, you were. And then OJ, where can they find you, man?
Yeah, you can find me right here on YouTube. Player Essence. I cover Nintendo, RPGs, Japanese gaming, Trials of Man, all that good stuff. All those RPGs, Daemon X Machina. I cover all that stuff, and I'm also on Twitch for live streaming as well, where I do Q&As and all of that stuff. Just twitch.tv/ Player Essence or whatever. So you can find me there for live streaming, and then you can find me on YouTube for edited content. So
what about Jordan? Where can they find you, man?
You can find me on a bunch of different places on YouTube at this point. So like I said last week, we did the games versus food channel that we started up, but we actually have a secret channel which I haven't really fully announced. We have some videos on. It's basically I'm running it. It's movies versus food. So I talk about the newest movies in theaters. I compare them with food. It's like comedy, but unless you don't find it funny, which is understandable. And I eat weird food like kid cuisine or Lunchables from my grocery store, and talk about Men in Black or High School Musical, because I do retro or older films or decom films and stuff like that.
What has your channel become?
That's a different channel.
Oh, okay.
And then
my channel's nothing right now.
And then Doom on Replay actually in Streamlabs says, cheers guys, thumbs up for the whole SpawnCast crew today, and RGT85 wherever he is or whichever Sonic he's at right now. And then FNAF says, what's up OJ?
What up?
And then Butt Muncher says, y'all forgot to mention Borderlands 3 and the Outer Worlds for Game of the Year candidads.
Oh yeah, Borderlands 3 for sure.
How could you forget that, Jordan?
I didn't want to interrupt.
Well, I also played a bunch, and I have the habit of sometimes I forget stuff between the time when I play it and when I review it.
And what about you, Evan?
Just find me on Twitter at Kimmerix Project. I'll announce when I'm streaming there. You also see me with John at Too Many Games coming up next weekend. I got the new shirt for Too Many Games Special Edition, some pins and stickers and stuff we'll be selling there for our channel merch. And you can also check out our channel store, the Teespring for it, because we got the Neglectful Trainer shirt, which is kind of Pokemon themed, a little morbid, but I love it. And a hat, actually. We actually got a hat made, which is really cool.
Very cool. And then Eric Popovich says, Banjo is life. My brother and I have bonded over it as children. That actually makes sense from when Banjo came out. I agree. I played a lot of that with some friends and everything. So very cool. And that's going to do it here for SpawnCast episode 115. Next weekend is going to be a pre-recorded ones because we will be at Too Many Games, but we'll at least have something for you guys Saturday night. But that'll do it here for us, guys. We'll see you next Saturday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time.
Peace.
Bye.